Okay, hey everybody. So we are live, and I am. I don't know if I sound terrible, but yeah, Roger failed his hacking roll. Yeah, that's about. That about sums it up. Um, I don't know. My mic stopped working. I think it's a problem with my audio interface. So I don't know if I got to get a new one of those or what. I tried a bunch of different things, so it didn't work. So that's that. And okay, great.
It is bugging the hell out of you, isn't it?
Sorry, it is that, and I just got an Adobe pop-up thing that said that my unlicensed Adobe app has been disabled, um, which I don't have an unlicensed Adobe app, so
Your channel's under attack.
sorry. No, it just popped up a thing. I don't know if it's like I've got a version of Adobe Pro from like I don't know 2005 or something. I mean it's like Adobe 7, and I've been using that for a while. So maybe
They
it's
just want you to buy the new one.
well they want you to do the subscription thing. So yeah, there you go. Failed the hacking minigame in Fallout 4. I don't know what that is. But
It is not difficult. What? Come on now.
it's difficult. Well,
No.
maybe it would be difficult for me.
No.
I don't know, but here I am. I can't hear myself talk, so that's a little weird. So yeah, I don't know. I can hear everybody else though fine. So it's great. It's a little weird. I don't have the microphone here to protect me. Oh, but if I do this, I can hear myself. See, that's what's weird, right? This is going through my audio interface, and I can hear that. So it's somewhere between there and the computer.
It's Lord.
Bugging the shit out of me. Yeah, it did. Hey, listen, you voted to be more technologically oriented, do more tech talks and all that stuff. So
You're
Anyway.
getting what you're paying for.
anyway,
Just
forget.
if I do this, I can hear myself because it's still going through the audio interface. I tried changing the cable and everything. I don't know what. Anyway, and it's not my hub. Anyway, I don't know. I'm gonna try not to talk about it anymore, but we know that's never gonna happen. If I sound bad and I need to drop and let these guys take over, let me know, please. So yeah, no Mike today. Mike is a little bit busy this week. So he had some things going on, said he wasn't going to make it. Dan is going to jump in. He's going to be in a little while later. So
Joe?
the files are in the computer. Yeah, the files are in the computer. So that's great. Anyway, so if there's too much background noise or whatever, please let me know, because I hate to be the guy that's streaming that has a ton of background noise and other bullshit going on. So
No, we already told you the audio is fine. You sound a little hollow, but it's not a big deal. There's no echo. There's no background noise. Relax.
yeah,
Just
no
go
mic,
with it.
no mic or mic today. That's
right.
that's
Three
where we're at.
mics.
So no mics. So yeah, wow. So it's been a busy week. This week flew by for me. I don't know why. It just things have been.
It's only Tuesday.
No, I mean since last stream.
All
Since
right.
last stream. So yeah, so that's what I'm using now as my webcam mic. This mic doesn't. The only reason this mic is here is because it's playing into my ears, but it won't play on the stream. Don't know why. It's not. It won't pick up in anything. I tried other software. It won't pick up in other software. So it's only going through the audio interface. I don't know if I got to reinstall drivers or something for it, but it shows up in the list. So yeah, no. So it's been a busy week. This seems to have like flown by. Like I think we just did this. Like it felt like a couple days ago for me anyway. I don't know. Like I said, it's just been real busy. So I only got one thing. Actually, I didn't think I was going to have anything to show off today, and then I got a package today. Of course, a Kickstarter. because who doesn't, who doesn't back a ton of those, right? But this is the Darkness Dwellers Handbook, and it's like a little zine thing. And there's a module here, the Forgotten Duke, and Secrets of the Vulgar Manse, and they're just like little zines. This is about adding it's for DCC and for Shadow Dark, which is strange, but it's got some stuff for like running a guild. There's like a specific kind of guild, like you're into like a keeper.
Like an adventurers guild or a thieves guild, or
Yeah, it's a little more deep than that, but yeah, it's like brokers of influence type of guild.
okay.
It's like a secret organization thing, and you get like an invitation for it, and it's like kind of like goes through like how to run it. It's
So
pretty,
it's like a Masons or Illuminati
it's pretty
type thing.
small, something like that. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
cool.
pretty small. It tells you how to do it. There's like stuff about the leadership, maps, and all about it. And then there's this city adventure that is kind of just like a fold out, and it's got a whole map there, and a bunch of stuff about that, and Secrets of the Vulgar Manse, which is a 0 level gauntlet for Shadow Dark or for DCC, and it's cool. It's got some cool looking player handouts and stuff in the back. Something you don't see a lot of anymore in some of these smaller adventures, but it's kind of cool. So, and it came with some luck tokens.
Very nice. Are those wood laser
Yep.
cut CNC?
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah, cool stuff, and some temporary tattoos
Oh boy.
in case everybody wants to be like initiated in. Like you can, you know what I mean. You pass them around. It's got the instructions how to apply temporary tattoos. Yeah, fun stuff. So you can actually role play out like, hey, we're all in the secret society together.
That's pretty cool. I like it.
So kind of neat. Yeah. So that's that showed up today. So that's all I got. Oh, it came with a bookmark, which is I believe it's Shadow Dark. I guess you can use it in any kind of OSR game, just like a character sheet thing there. And then it's got all the gear slots on the back. So kind of cool. Little bookmark there. So fun times. But that's all I got. Yeah, I tried that. I did all that. It says that it's on the default, and it says it's on the right one, and it recognizes it, but it won't. Nothing in software will recognize the microphone. Like I can't. It doesn't hear anything coming out of it for some reason. I don't know why. Like I went into Discord and went in and test the microphone there, and it shows up as being the right one. And it doesn't pick up. It just says, "Oh, sorry, we can't hear you." I'm not muted and anything else. I'm going to try all that stuff. So, not that secret if you have a tattoo. Well, it's a secret tattoo. That's the thing. Andy, hey, you made it for a minute. Thanks for stopping. It's good to have you. Sorry that the few minutes that you did have to suffer through was me ranting about my microphone.
Well, he'll listen later. Andy and I are collaborating on a Shadow Dark character sheet.
Oh, fantastic.
And it's actually been a lot of fun. I don't remember. I think he messaged me and said, "Hey, I'm making a Shadow Dark character sheet. Take a look." I'm pretty sure that's how it started. Take a look, tell me what you think. And I love the font. And I was like, this is a really good character sheet. Because I don't like the basic Shadow Dark sheet. It doesn't have enough information for me. I know that's what it's for, so it's really basic and easy.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Andy's was 2 pages, and I was like, oh, this is much more my speed. So then I ran it through Adobe Pro and made it form fillable, and I moved stuff around, and I was changing some of the stuff, sent it back to him. Hey, tell me what you think about this. So for the past, I think, week and a half now, we've been going back and forth using email and Facebook Messenger, going back and forth with this thing. So I think we're getting close to a final product. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, fantastic. And is that something that's going on like it's going to go on drive-through for free or something, or is it?
As a matter of fact, Andy and I very briefly chatted about this evening. He asked if I thought it was good enough that we could put it up on drive-through, and I was like, absolutely. I think it's a great looking sheet. I have to finish doing the form fillable part, and then he and I'll decide whether or not we like this final form or if we want to move stuff around. But so far, I'm liking it. Yeah, and it's and Andy put me as the co-author on it, but I mean honestly, it's 99% him. I'm just doing the form fillable and kind of tweaking it here and there, but he's
That's
doing
cool.
the majority of it. So yeah, but it's been cool. I've been really happy doing this. It's been pretty fun. So
Yeah, yeah, no, that's awesome. It's a good
yeah.
time. Um, yeah, so yeah, no, that's fun. You get anything else? You get anything this week?
No, I don't think I did, and I'm in a hotel right now, so I
Yeah,
don't have any of my stuff on me anyway. Um, Decado and I were looking at Free League has their 40% off summer sale going on right now.
yeah.
It looks like it's all VTT and PDF. I don't see any hardback options or hard copy
Oh,
options.
really? I thought somebody
So
said they had some hardcovers or something.
yeah, if anybody can find them, let me know. There are hardcovers I'm still looking for. The Mutant Year Zero stuff I'm still, but I still want to get.
Yeah, yeah,
But everything else, like I told Stan, I was like, I think I already have everything on here. So, it's not a terrible problem to have.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, they definitely put out a lot of good stuff, and
Yep.
like it's hard to say no when it comes out,
Yeah.
and then when
Yeah.
they have a sale, it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
already have one.
Inviting.
So yeah, yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, fun. Stan, how about you? You get anything this week?
I did. I got a couple things. I was working at Crossroad Games through the weekend, so I got free RPG Day stuff, which was nice.
Oh, that's right. That
I
was this
got
weekend. Yeah,
I got this, the Pirate Borg Adventure. Pretty cool.
nice. That's
And
cool.
then I got Arkham Horror Adventure. I haven't really looked at this one yet. The co-owner of the place handed it to me as I was leaving. I got this. This is I guess, Zombicide came out with their own role-playing game, so this is an adventure
Oh,
for
okay. Interesting.
that called Plague Bearer. This one was really cool. This Crooked Moon. Now, Crooked Moon's like typically, I think, a 5e product, but this was really nice because there's like a full-fledged like haunted house in here, like all mapped out and detailed. So let's make one of the maps,
Nice.
one of the levels.
That's cool.
And then this is, I don't know if this will show up very well, but this is like the overall layout of the house. And it's got a bunch of stats and stuff in the back, like this guy here, characters and stuff. So it's pretty neat for free. And they had a Vason one.
Oh,
So it's a
cool.
quick start rules and a mystery. So a bunch of maps and yeah. So it looks pretty cool. I've been busy today too, so I haven't had much time to look at it. And then the final one I got was one for Dolmenwood.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
because I like the Pirate Borg starter things, free adventure, so I bought the starter set.
Cool.
Um, yeah, I bought that from Crossroads. Like I said, I worked for them all weekend, so I came
Nice.
home with that.
How were they busy?
Yeah, well, so there's a con here in Maine called PortCon that's been going on for like, I don't know, forever, I guess. I've never been to it before. But Crossroads has been there from the beginning, so I helped work
Oh,
their
okay.
booth for the weekend.
Is that the one that's in like a shopping plaza or something?
It used to be. So it used to
Okay.
be in South Portland, and like everything except the gaming was in the Towers Hotel across the street. There's two round towers,
Right.
and then
But then you had to
the
like walk
gaming.
across the street or something.
The,
I remember looking that up, and I remember seeing it, and it was like a small convention, and I like they showed like a map, and it was like here's the hotel, and then here's the gaming, and there's like dots, like
yeah,
the Indiana Jones map, like dots,
yeah.
like going, like across the street, down in front of the plaza, and like down here, and I'm like, oh, that's terrible.
So this year they were in a new location. They were at the
Cool,
Holiday Inn in Portland, right across from the Civic Center, and
nice.
everything was in the Holiday Inn. It's a pretty big convention. There's probably a couple thousand people that come. It's pretty
Oh
big.
wow.
I'd never been. I mean, it's not. It's mostly like for anime and stuff like
Oh
that.
okay. Yeah. All right.
It's very much geared that way. But they moved to this location, and from what we found out is they eventually plan to extend the vendor hall. They're going to actually move the vendor hall across the street to the Civic Center, I guess. In the next 3 or 4 years, they're hoping to grow it enough where they can
Okay.
rent the Civic Center for the weekend and do the vendor hall there.
Wow. That's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
so it was
Yeah.
it was a busy well, we set up on Thursday and it went Friday through Sunday. And the vendor hall was Friday and Saturday. It was from 11 to 7, and then Sunday 11 to 3. It shut down at 3 o'clock.
Okay. Cool. So yeah. Wow. And now, how much? How much like RPG stuff?
So our we brought a big hodgepodge of stuff. So we had Magic, and Pokemon and stuff like those cards were like we had a table set up in the front of the booth, and it's basically like these bins, and you could thumb through them. They're like dollar cards or whatever. There was never not anybody there. There was always somebody there. There was people there that were like digging for 15 minutes with people waiting behind them. So we had that, and then we had like little simple card games and different. I don't know card games, so my knowledge
Yeah.
on that's pretty limited. We had board games, different board games, and we had role playing games too. And that was kind of my area because
Yeah.
I don't play Magic. I don't play any of those card games. And I was pretty impressed actually. I don't know as if we actually sold any of the 5e core books we brought, but I did sell Old School Essentials. I sold
Nice.
World of Warhammer Old World Game Master Guide. I sold Shadow Dark. Actually sold a few copies of that, and so it
Wow.
was. And I talked to this young girl. She was looking for a D100 that was, just 100-sided die, and I was like, "Oh, what are you using that for?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm going to run Call of Cthulhu," and I'm like, "Fucking right."
Yeah.
I was like, man, I kept saying to my friend Chris and Brendan who own Crossroads, I kept saying, I'm like, every time some person would come in and buy like an OSR game style game, I was always like, my faith in the hobby is just that more redeemed because it was all, for the most part, it was all
Yeah.
like young people doing it, younger people.
Um, yeah. Matt's the store closest to me. Did that free RPG day. 20 people in line. 10 a.m. Wild. Way less stores did it this year than the last few years. Yeah. I don't know what it was like this year. If they just didn't get like advertised as much or pushed to the stores as much. But it seemed like there were way less stores, and because of that, the stores got more stuff, but they were also a lot more packed, from what I heard. Like I didn't
Yeah.
try to go out; I was like, forget it. But
I
I'll just
actually got I got some miniatures too from Free RPG Day. I think they go with the Crooked Moon
oh,
stuff.
cool.
Or Ravenloft, maybe. Well, one of them is definitely probably from Crooked Moon. It's a
Todd
friggin' pumpkin with a
played
cloak.
DCC for the first time at RPG Day, so that's cool. Yeah.
Did
Nice.
did Ravenswood do free RPG day?
No, they did it last year. They didn't do it this year, so I don't know if they missed out or.
When I was working at the comic shop in Alaska, we did free RPG day, and the first time like we went all out, and there was tons of people there. I was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" And the second year, we didn't do very much, and I asked the manager why, and he said, "Well, it's not free." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
The store pays for all that stuff.
Right.
And they don't pay a ton of money, but it's still comic shops don't
Right,
make a
still
whole
gonna
lot
pay
of money.
cost for the stuff, I think, which is
Yeah,
kind of
and
ridiculous to me. But
right, and
Yeah.
so it's really kind of a crapshoot for most stores, and I think that's why many of them are not involved anymore.
yeah,
Crossroads. I've done I've gone to Free RPG Day at Crossroads a few times. I've played games. I've run games there. They don't do as much of that because this PortCon always seems like it always falls on Free RPGD falls during that, so
Mm.
they don't have the staff to devote to like running a bunch of games and running the store at the same time. So, and with half of them being over at the con, so
Yeah, yeah,
actually, one of the things we talked about was next year at the con bringing, because we didn't bring any of that free RPG stuff with us, and they had a ton of it, and so probably next year we'll bring some with us. We're gonna actually bring some less of certain things that just didn't sell that way,
yeah.
sell
How
that
many
good. So.
how many games were played? Do you think like how like as far as gaming going on? Did you like at this convention? Like
They
what do you?
do have they do have gaming. I never made it up to because we were where the vendors were. It was kind of like the I'll say the basement, but that's not really what it was. But we're in the
Yeah,
basement. And the gaming was above us, and I never made it up to it, but I know talking to folks that like they were playing a bunch of different games up there. They had paint and tape for miniatures, and my friend Matt, who's in the comments a lot, is Rooster. He was there. Him and his whole family, they go every year and
That's
do like
great.
the cosplay stuff because they have like panels, and it's a big thing because they even like I think it was Saturday night. There's a club like a couple blocks up called Aurora, and they have a dance specifically for the folks at the con. So they all go up there
oh cool.
like in full, and I like the cosplay stuff. Like I've watched tons of videos on how to do that stuff, and I always just found it. I find anything building fascinating. But I saw some costumes there that were freaking pretty cool. Like a dude made, and I guess he comes into the shop a lot, from World of Warcraft, like the Ice Lich King. He's all this big, heavy armored. That guy made that entire costume that he had, and it was badass. Like, and I was like, holy crap, that looks really cool.
I
Yeah,
don't remember. I don't remember which con I was at. I think it might have been Emerald City, Seattle, and there was a girl walking around in power armor from Fallout, and it was freaking huge. And like she was walking around, and it looked heavy. It like when she was walking, I was like, wow, that's really power armor. And she took her helmet off, and she was like 5'2". So like her legs
That's
were all
great.
like she was on stilts. It was absolutely amazing. She built it all herself. Man, the people that really put effort into that stuff, really incredible
Yeah,
work.
that's the one, Todd. Yeah, Athros.
Yeah.
It was. I wish I'd taken a picture of the guy, and that was cool too. Like I was sitting there, like where we were. You could go out of the vending hall, and there was like a handful of like comfortable seats, and we would eat our lunches one at a time because it was so busy. We never shut down the whole time. So I'd go out there and eat, and a bunch of the guests are there, and there was this young girl sitting there. I don't know what she was dressed at. She had a really cool like costume, and these two other girls come up, and like one of them asked her, "Hey, can she get a?" She was too. The other one was too shy to ask to take a picture. Um, I which I thought was really cool. And I saw that happen a lot. My friend Matt was in full costume, and I was shooting the breeze with him, and somebody come up and asked to take a picture of him. And I've even seen pictures of him posted on Facebook from other people that were there. So that was neat. That was neat.
Yeah,
yeah,
the people that do that stuff, the cosplay, and I'm sure that the 10 people that are watching this already know this. They want you to come up to them and talk to them about it. Most of them are so proud of the work that they put into that, and it's really cool when somebody walks and says, "Hey, can I get a photo with you?" They
Yeah.
actually, my wife and I have Renaissance outfits that we wear to one of the local Renaissance fairs. They look amazing, and people will compliment my wife all the time on her hat and her mask and all this stuff, and she gets the biggest kick out of that. So yeah, don't be shy. Walk up and ask if you can get a photo. The answer is always yes.
yeah. Usually people with the cosplay like they're used to that and they're
Mhm.
fine with it so long as it's not so long as you're not a jerk about it.
Sure. Yeah.
Whatever. Like that has to be said. I hate to say it, but like
Yes.
like don't bother people. Like other than like harassing people or like, but like ask people if you can take a picture. Don't just like jump in and grab them. And
Yeah.
I hate that has to be said, right? Like
Yeah.
it's just like be
Yeah.
a reasonable human being.
When
Yeah.
you and I go to PAX, PAX Unplugged,
Yeah.
there's a sign right out front that says "Cosplay is not consent." Just
Yeah,
because
They had that there.
doesn't
They
mean
had
you get
that there.
slap her on the ass. How sad that you have
Um,
to say that.
Well,
I
I
mean,
think some
because
of that, like
and I get it because like some of the costumes are like
Very
a tad
provocative.
revealing at times.
Yeah.
And that doesn't give you free reign to go up and grope one of those people,
Right,
but
right.
there's
Gotta be
weirdos
said.
everywhere. So
Well, people see
unfortunately,
it like it's Disney World or something, right? Where they equate that with here's their their favorite character that's dressed up, as whatever, it's Goofy or Mickey Mouse or whatever it is, right? And or the Star Wars or whatever, and those people are they're paid to be there, they're trained. I mean, you shouldn't just go up and grab them or whatever, right? But
Yeah.
you can kind of just go the thing is okay, people are going to go up to these people and get pictures taken with them or whatever, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
but the cosplay people, they're not the same, people.
Right. Yeah. They're not professional actors dressed as Cinderella or whoever. It's Tommy down the street dressed as Arthas and Jane down the other street dressed in T-53 power armor. So
I used to go to Sterling Edgelord before it turned to shit, which was I don't know, 10 years ago now.
COVID killed it. But my wife and I go every year. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going on the 8th of August this year.
Yeah. I mean, is there anybody left up there? I mean, is it
yeah,
the last time I went after COVID, it was so thinned out and everything was.
Well, I think the year after COVID, it was thin because it was the year after COVID. But yeah, you kind of have to get lucky. The weather is so unpredictable.
Sure.
There's no shelter. We went one year and it rained nonstop. And in fact, I had planned on wearing my kilt, but I'm like, I'm not. I have a real kilt. I'm not wearing this thing, so I can get poured on all day. And then one year it's a million freaking degrees out. It was absolutely miserable.
Yeah.
So that affects the crowds. The cost has gone dramatically. The turkey leg that everybody always wants to get. I remember when they were $10. I thought, wow, that's a bit much for a turkey leg. Then they were 15. I think now they're 18 or 20.
Yeah, I think it's like 20 bucks.
And because the guy that owns the place doesn't want to pay any money to the employees, you get like 2 people trying to serve 500 people a turkey leg.
Yeah.
But even saying that, Steffi and I go every year. We always have a good time. So there's plenty of vendors. Still plenty to do.
Is that a Renaissance?
The Renaissance Fair, yeah. Sorry for those of you that don't know. Yeah, it's sort of local. It's
we have a local one. I've never been. They do it a whole weekend over in Acton and at the fairgrounds. My buddy Matt, that his family go every year. I should get over there sometime.
Yeah, it's we go, like I said, we go every year, but different weekends have different themes. Some of the weekends are not themed; it's just Renaissance Fair.
Yeah.
The 1st of August is the Highland Festival. It's a lot of guys wearing kilts and all that. That's the one that we usually go so that I can wear my kilt. But we're doing the fairies and Fairyland, something like that, because I'm going to be gone the 1st of August anyway. So we're doing that this year. So I'll just be wearing my regular Renaissance garb. So for me, you kind of get out of it what you put into it. Take your time, go to all the booths, go see, go watch the washerwomen tell their body jokes and stories, go see the acrobats, have a good time. But if you just want to whip through, then you're not going to have a good time. So, it's still worth going to, in my opinion.
I changed a couple sound settings. I'm going to try and switch this really quick and see what happens.
Sure.
Did that do anything?
Yes, you're back.
I'm back. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah. It looks a little bit delayed, but that could be my internet.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
think you're okay.
That's fine. I sound okay volume wise though.
Yeah. You sound like
it's better.
Okay, cool. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm glad that's like a weight off of my fucking shoulders. So I'll see if I close the fucking sound setting thing if I all of a sudden disappear. Yeah, I don't know. I got to try and go back to Sterling at some point. There's a lot of things that turn me off about the place. Just from seeing some of the stuff from the back end, the way that the previous owner ran things, and then and the new owner kind of kept continuing with. I mean, there's people living there in camps, basically.
Yeah.
And they're like the workers, and they're, they get like free admission, but they, hey, you get to live here and you work here, and that, and you get paid with admission and food.
Yeah, but a lot of that is by choice. Those
Right,
guys are
right,
they're basically gypsies. They go from Renaissance festival to festival, and that's how they live. I think that's kind of badass, really. If I were a younger person, I think that's cool.
Sure. Yeah, obviously it's not for us, right? It's for the teenagers, the 18, 19, 20 year olds or whatever. Yeah.
I was actually really surprised. Like I said, I've never been to anything like this before, but I was surprised at the age range that was at this convention, because we had, you know, young people, tons of young people, but then you had people my age, if not older. And I was like, oh, that's interesting,
Yeah, cool. So Dan is here.
Hi guys.
Dan.
Welcome to the party.
Welcome.
Sorry I was late. My sister evicted a small human from her body this afternoon, so I was visiting
a
tiny human.
Was on purpose or
yeah.
Okay.
Nope, she just stuffed it up there with a freaking eyedropper and
oops. 9 months.
No, I meant like, was this a planned day for it?
Yeah, it was. It just took a bit longer than anticipated. So I'm gonna speed run the intro. This is the cool stuff I got this week.
Yeah, there you go.
BX Advanced Bestiary Volume 3. That was a Kickstarter. It just showed up.
Cool.
So
that's cool.
Yeah.
This was an eBay purchase that I've been wanting for a while.
Oh, really?
Yes, because I missed the Kickstarter.
Oh.
And there's only 200 of these, and one showed up.
Really?
And I bleary-eyed purchased it at 3 a.m. when I had to wake up to pee, and I got an email from eBay saying, "By the way, this showed up." So I went, "Boop!"
Wow. So, there's only 200 of them.
Yeah, I got 120. Oh, you can't see the silver. I got 120 out of 200.
120 out of 200.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, because I love me some white box.
I don't know where mine is.
Yeah. If I'd known you had it, I would have stole it while I was up in Utica.
No, Paul, I think the size thing, I think Roger planned on talking the different sizes of books.
I thought because he made the show Size Matters, he invited the fat guy, so that's why I was here.
No. Yeah, Paul. Sorry. No. We start talking about conventions and stuff because there was it came up, this weekend. But no. We the size thing that I wanted to talk about was obviously book sizes. That's what I wanted to.
I got opinions.
Gen Con, Paul. That's a great point though, right? Like, and this goes back to like what I've said before. Like, I go to small conventions to game. I go to big conventions to shop.
Yeah.
And I do exactly that. When I go to PAX Unplugged, and I mean, you can ask Jason. Jason's been there with me. Like, I will go through the exhibitor list and I write down like their booth numbers and like what it is that I want from them or like that I'm looking for or, or any of that. And it's like, okay, here's all this stuff and this is what I want to do. And I got to grab this and talk to these people about this. And like, it's so same thing. Like I figure out this is, that's everything I got to do. So that's, like, I understand like Gen Con, man, I feel that if I ever went to Gen Con, I mean, it's on my list, right? I want to go at least once, but if I ever get to Gen Con, I don't think I'd be able to do any gaming. Like, I think I would spend, because I think there's so much going on in the exhibit halls or, with the exhibitors that I would spend just all day doing that.
Also, last summer, Gen Con was like 85,000 people.
That's why I'll never go back.
Which is insane.
Well, right.
I'll never go. The last time I was at Gen Con, it was in Milwaukee in the 90s. I'll never go again.
Right.
So,
Todd, what was Todd looking for? He was looking for.
He was looking at the BX Advanced Bestiary book.
BX Advanced Bestiary
it's on
book.
Saber Games and Cards.
Let's see if that works.
Yeah, that goes right to Todd. I don't know. So these just got shipped, so they might not be on that website yet.
Yeah, they might not be on the store yet.
That's where Todd keeps all his overstock. So, but they're good books.
I saw it, and Twitch. Somebody told me I should start adding Twitch to the stream, and so far the only
that was Jeff, and he's a fucking
bots. Idiot.
So don't do that. Love
Jeff,
you, Jeff.
If you're out there. Hi, Jeff. So anyway, I've got some news, some stuff that I got to announce. I was waiting for Dan.
Oh, thanks.
Actually, not really, but
okay.
I was just waiting for us to get done talking about new stuff. But a couple things. I had a wonderful conversation. This is probably actually the real reason I didn't get out to Free RPG Day. Saturday morning, I had a wonderful conversation with George and Dave from Emperor's Choice. So mostly George.
No, come on.
Never would have guessed.
But we had a great conversation, a long conversation. They're going to be sponsoring several, well, I don't know about several, a handful at least of YouTube channels, and they want to push out some new stuff, and so we're on the list.
Nice.
So
that is no surprise, but I'm still very happy to hear it.
Yeah, they're gonna send us some stuff that we're gonna give away. We're working on that stuff. I'm trying to get them to limit some of the stuff that they send out, but no, they're great guys. They want to send out a bunch of stuff, and trying to work with them on that as far as like a schedule and when things are getting released and when we should do all that. But so they're gonna sponsor the channel and sponsor the show and stuff, and so that'll be cool. So everybody should go and shop Emperor's Choice, which is just empcho.com, and they have got some stuff coming. They have got a new box set, a new Arduin box set coming, and because they just did the Kickstarter and they don't want anyone that got that box set to feel like slighted or whatever because it's a new kind of version, they're giving them a heavy discount on that. So like right now it's discounted pre-order, I think for 60. I think they're 160 65 right now.
Yep.
And I don't know if they've
100.
I don't know if they've released the price yet publicly for what the Kickstarter backers are going to get, but sometime in July they're going to do they're gonna release that.
65.
It'll be less than 65, a lot less than 60, like a surprising number, less 65. Right. And that's going to go out to all, I believe, all the Kickstarter backers from the Portal to Adventure. I don't know if they're limiting that to the list of people that just bought the full box set or what, but yeah, of course, Paul. Why wouldn't I? Well, I don't. Sure. So there's that. So we're doing that. The other thing is game day. That's up. I scheduled a game day for CNY. I know I kind of mentioned that a couple times already, but that is in full swing, and that's going to be December 12th, and that's just going to be one day of gaming. No vendors or any of that. Just a game day. Come out, schedule some games, play some games. And Dan and I have kind of been working on some stuff. So it's kind of twofold, but with the convention, I've been trying to figure out what I want to do as far as like helping a cause or something like that, right? With the convention. And I think my whole thing that I want to do is get people into gaming, right? And a lot of that for me is there's a lot of people out there, and nobody here really, but there's a lot of people out there that seem to think that you need a lot of money for this hobby. Like I like people have told me that like more than a few times, to the point where it's bugged me, where people say, oh, I can't afford to play tabletop RPGs, which is just crazy. And, when you ask them why, the general answer is, well, because you got to buy like eight books. Because you got to buy the 3 core books for the Dungeon Master. And then you got to buy a player's handbook for each of your players. And they're all $60 a piece. And so that's $500 of books. And then you got to buy dice, and you got to buy, all the stuff. So it's kind of, and then like, look, I go back and forth, like the Critical Role thing, right? Like I get they brought a lot of people into the hobby, but people look at that and think like, oh, like this is how you play Dungeons and Dragons,
Right. That's the
right?
hobby. Mhm.
Right. You know, with a expensive lighting setup, miniatures, all the terrain and like everything else. And so when you see that and that's what you start with, like people don't seem to think like, oh, it's possible to do this just theater of the mind or with pennies or whatever. Like they think, oh, you got to do all that. So Dan and I were talking kind of on a side from that of doing a game day thing and doing like a giveaway, having a game. So Dan's going to run a game. He's going to run White Box, and it's going to be basically for new players only. So anybody that's new to the game, and we're putting together like a package to give to all those people. And I think going forward, I kind of want to do that continually with the convention. And I don't know how we're going to set that up yet, but I think I really want to get new people into gaming. And so I want to put together things like, yeah, Dan was showing the one copy of White Box. I'm kind of partial to this art. I don't know. I just kind of like it, but it's the same book.
I like
right?
the dude standing against the dragon because that's Giga Chad energy right there.
Yeah. And so like these books are cheap enough, right? You can get them for $5 a piece, right? And I think putting together a little bag with one of those books, same thing. Basic fantasy, that's definitely on the list to do that, right?
Yep.
And
you could do a different one every year too.
You're right. And I think every year, whatever. And I'm going to see if I can get people to donate to it, but I want to put together a little bag that's basically, hey, here's the book, here's a set of dice, here's a couple of modules, here's some character sheets, here's some tokens. And then there's a package, and anybody that's never played before or never ran before, hey, here's a game that's just for you, and here's a bag. Go and spread the joy of RPGing or whatever out there. And maybe eventually we start doing stuff for like schools and and all of that stuff. I don't know. I mean, I'm getting too ahead of myself now, but that's
but
that's kind of where I want to go.
Person table first, but yeah.
Well, yeah, right. Let's fill that out. But like, I mean, after doing the thing for the kids and like showing them stuff and giving them like some things when I ran that class, like that was fun. And then, you mentioned doing this and I think that's fantastic. And I'd love to do that year over year and then do it even, in between, so, and people don't realize that. I think that, that you don't have to spend a lot of money, doing it. So,
that's because people see 5e and they see the $100+ of investment and they're like, no,
right. And we definitely want to show people that they can have a good time without spending, $500.
Right. And as much as I'm happy to crap all over 5e, it's also people like us that cause that problem. Every week, what do we start the show with? Look what I just got.
Sure. Yeah.
And
no, absolutely.
And I agree. And I have
sometimes
no
you
problem
get signs
with
like this.
So yeah, Edgelord, I don't think that's a good idea.
Edgelord is right,
but yeah,
no, I think it's a great idea, Roger.
I get it, right? Like, but Mark, the difference, right, is that like I'm in that position, right, where I can do that.
Right.
Like if I want to spend a ton of money on terrain, like I can do that, right? Whereas with most people that are playing or that are new to the game that see it being played or hear us like talking about it or watch Critical Role and like see that going on, like they instantly think, oh, hey, I got to get that stuff, and they go to like Barnes and Noble or whatever, right, or their local game store, and they're like, oh, here's the 3 core books that's $180. And we need a bunch of players handbooks and we need dice and all of that. And they start to see all of that go up. And like, there's not a lot of options out there, I think, or the people aren't like pushing, like this stuff, the cheap stuff. Like, I get it. It's hard for like some of the stores and all of that, and Stan, I know you work at, some of the stores, and Jason, I know you worked at that comic shop. But like, I don't know if, like those stores, like if a kid goes in there and is like, oh, I really want to spend $500 worth of stuff, I'm going to come back after I, mow some lawns, like whatever. I don't know. Is a store really going to tell them, hey, why don't you buy this $5 thing instead?
No,
Like,
they're going to
I-
push the margin product with the
I
add-ons.
I will speak to that only because I have some firsthand knowledge. I'm only speaking for the store that I'm involved
Sure.
in, which is Crossroad Games.
Crossroad
They
Games,
will
yeah.
absolutely deter people that cannot afford big purchases
That's
to
good.
not make big purchases.
Yeah, and as
Yeah.
much
Because
as
they've seen it time and time again. Like people will come in and I was shocked. They'll come in and dump like thousands of dollars on Magic, and then a month later they're back there selling the cards because they couldn't afford it. And
Yeah.
they will try to talk people out of making
Sure.
purchases that are not financially sound
And-
for them.
but also,
So just shops every one.
yeah, I would do the same thing. I would be like, you get a little kid that comes in, and this was when Stranger Thing was on fire, and I'd be like, it's awesome that you want to play D&D. Let me show you this starter box for $25.
Mhm.
Get this; it has
Yeah.
everything you need. And Dragonbane is great about that. Because Dragonbane's not even a starter box; it's
Not a
the
starter
game.
set,
We
it's
talked about that
Game,
before.
Yeah.
Biz
Yeah.
box and RPGs.
Yeah,
Yep.
Tons of the free league games they have starter boxes. Here's
Sure.
$25 to $40.
Yep.
This is all you need to play this. And then if you do like it, come on back, and then we'll talk about the Dungeon Master's Guide and the Player's Handbook.
Yeah.
And all the splat books.
Right.
And, and I want to say most game shops would be like that because they're usually staffed
Sure.
by people like
Sure.
us.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Sure.
all of them. I don't know if our local game shop would do that. In fact, I think they probably wouldn't. But I think that most probably would.
By the way, since you mentioned Dragonbane, I don't know if you guys mentioned this before I got here, but the Free League summer sale started, and the Dragonbane box is $30.
Oh, really?
$30.
Wow.
Yeah, and the starter
That's
boxes for like Lord of the Rings and some of the other ones are 17.
All I saw was PDFs. Are they doing hard copies?
They are doing hard copies.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look again then. Cool.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought that they were
Yep.
doing that. So
Yep.
So anyway, so that's what I got for announcements. I don't know. I don't think I got anything else. Oh, tomorrow I'm doing a stream with Todd from Blackwall Games, Jason Vay, Elflair, and Matt Tapp from Barrels and Borderlands. We're doing that every other Wednesday for like an hour and a half. We're going to see how that goes. That'll be interesting, talking about designing and things like that. So it'll be interesting. So yeah,
What time is
that'll
this?
be fun. So check tomorrow. That's going to be at is that at 7? I think it's
Okay,
at 7
cool.
tomorrow. So probably like an hour and a half. We're figuring.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that'll be really fun. So, good times. So yeah, I think, like I said, that's all I got for announcements and other cool stuff. As far as the topic goes, does size really matter? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Dan messaged me as soon as it went up, and
Sure
said,
did.
should I say it out loud, or I mean,
Go for it.
Is that okay, or go for it?
I have no shame.
Dan messaged me as soon as he saw the thing go up, and said,
I
said
shall
my
be there
wife-
and bring the dick jokes.
yeah, right. So what do I mean? So obviously I said it in the description. I mean physical, like book size, right?
Right.
Like that's my major thing.
Mhm.
And it was interesting because usually, I don't know. I started thinking about this because I'm always staring at my shelf when I'm running games. The shelves that are behind me, I'm on the other side of the table when I run. So, so I always look at my books and stuff, and I can see that all the stuff there. So, it's interesting to think like somewhere I'm trying to find a happy medium. For books, he says, yeah. Like I'm trying to find the smallest game possible that will do everything that I want it to do. Right? Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I definitely want, like I don't want to run something like I considered running Axe, right? Adventure Conquer King system. I think it's a great game, but I think that it's too rules heavy for what my group would do. Like there's too much there, and I think it would, people would get lost. So
for some of the players, yes,
well, for some of the players, not you. I mean, obviously, you know what I mean. Obviously, I mean, there's some people. Obviously, you're more inclined to take it and run with it, and and go with it. But it's good. In edgelord, no, I'm not going to be all. I'm not going to be all praise on Shadow Dark here. But so like, so like that's the thing. So like Axe is like too big, right? Now, Dan, I'd imagine, would say, well, in that case, play Hyperborea. Now, I like Hyperborea. Now, I do.
For
like
brand
Hyperborea.
new?
It's on the list.
Or, yeah.
Right?
Or like convention games, or like what's the
I'm talking about for my
just,
home game.
Just for your home game?
We could for like a campaign, a campaign game.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about
just keep them
one
here
shots
so I can
and stuff later.
Be the true Hyperhorian I am.
Yeah, and like to Jeff's point, like, it depends on value, right? Like, and so, so I started looking through my stuff, right? And so obviously we have things like White Box, right? And I mean, I think this is great. I think you can run this a little while for a campaign.
Oh yeah.
But I think, like, I mean, I could run this forever for a campaign, but there's some players,
especially if you got the big boy version.
Well, right. Yeah, but that's a different animal now. It's a bigger book.
Yeah.
It's a bigger book. There's more rules. There's more stuff to it, right? I mean, it's like you're comparing like to OSE or whatever. You've got, got more and more things. So like this is fine, I think. And I can get a long time out of this, but there's a lot of things that aren't in here that I think a lot of players will get, that'll get, there's not enough there. There's not enough meat on the bone right there for them. So you have to find something bigger. And so, like, I mean, I've been, obviously I've been running Shadow Dark, right? Here comes the Shadow Dark praise, right? And, but like my thing with Shadow Dark, I like the size. I think it's great. I think that it's fine for short campaigns to medium length campaigns. I don't know where this is going to end up in a year, right? And I think the only way that Shadow Dark lasts a year is because it's no longer this book. It's not this size. Like, I like Shadow Dark because it's this physical size book, and it's great. You can carry it around. The rules are simple, right? It's compared to this. Maybe has a little bit more on it. There's more on the random tables and things like that in here. But the difference is like running this as a campaign that I'm figuring out now, you need a lot of extra stuff that it's really, wasn't originally designed to do, which is why this is the Western Reaches Kickstarter stuff. But that adds 2 books that are this size, right? Because they're both 300 pages apiece, right? And this is 320, 325, right? So now you need triple this plus all the zines that are out, right? In order to run like a longer game. So, I mean, all that was kind of interesting to me, trying to figure that out. So that's what I meant by, for size. Savage says that Castle Crusades has been go-to fantasy system for 5 years. I ran CNC for a couple of years. I think CNC suffers from the same issue that all D20 games suffer from, and that's once you get to somewhere around 10th level, the D20 system falls apart. Like that's just, but that's why Kelsey caps Shadow Dark at 10. That's why Dan, hold it up. That's why Hyperborea caps at 12, because they knew. And technically, Castle and Crusades caps it. Is it 12?
It originally capped at 12, and 13 to 24 was in the Castle Keeper's Guide, and then in later printings they moved it, so now you can go to 24, and it just,
but it's still
the siege engine doesn't work.
It's still not like it's like it goes to 12 and then like 13 to 24 on like the next page or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So
it's like a subsection for each class.
Yeah. But I think that the problem with the siege engine is the same problem that you have with the D20 the D20 system.
Mhm.
Once you start adding numbers that are over half the die, like it doesn't, you know what I mean? These things start to fall apart. Like it's just an issue with, with that.
By the
So
way,
yeah,
I'm
like
gonna throw out a PSA real quick since you said Castles and Crusades 20 times. Castles and Crusades Foundry is now going to actually be maintained and updated by me. So that's official now.
congratulations, Dan.
Thanks. I'm not getting paid. But it'll be maintained. So
Fantastic. Hey, Mike.
hey, Mike.
Thanks for coming.
But I mean, I think so. Size of the game wise, in my opinion, one of the ones that is the most rules complete yet remains a reasonable size is Swords and Wizardry Complete Revised.
I thought you were going to say Hyperborea.
I figured I'd mixed up a little bit for once. Hyperborea is 600 pages between the two books. Swords and Wizardry Complete Revised in the one book is $140, and that's the complete game.
140 pages.
Yeah, and then you have and it's a letter sized book, right? So it's like the old AD&D.
Is that it? Complete Revised. That's all it is.
Yeah, there's two
it's
other
not
books.
Less than that.
There's the Book of Options and. Yeah, I got it right here.
Yeah, so this is the Complete Revised book here.
Yep.
And yeah, 144. Okay.
Yeah, but so I mean, there's the Book of Foes, which has a ton more monsters, which obviously I would recommend. But there are monsters and stat blocks in the base book, so
but
you don't need it.
I don't consider like I don't think you need all those monsters.
I don't think you do.
I mean, that's like those are pages that are added to a book. Like it's fine, but I don't think you need them. You know what I mean? You can.
Yeah, there's a ton of awesome classes in here, and it's more than just your standard fighter, thief, cleric, magic user. There's like monks and that sort of stuff, and there's like 10 more or whatever in the Book of Options. So, and there's a lot of cool ones.
Sure.
So but like one book is a complete game that.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to read and parse because the layout's awesome. And
yeah, this is a book. I would love it if they would make like an A5 version.
Really? I like that it's letter.
I like just because it would be twice as thick, which I'm okay with because it's kind of thin.
Yeah, but that's true. But I think the layout would be a lot harder in A5. But
yes, I agree. I agree. It would. Yeah.
That would be difficult, I think, to make it as parsable as it is, especially with some of the bigger tables. But yeah, fantastically complete game. You can get all three for like 120, but you can get one for like 40, I think, or 45, something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it.
And the PDF is like $10 on drive-through. So
yeah, like another big game that like came to mind, right? Was this here? And
I agree, Mark.
Now, I like this. I like DCC, but I don't think that it's great for a campaign game. I mean, I like it for one shots and things like that because mostly because of the magic system and all that, it can get crazy, and I think some of that's cool. But like the book, there's a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah.
For just like a one shot, which is where the issue is for me, especially talking about, size.
Do you guys like funnels and gauntlets?
I do. I enjoy running.
I don't either.
I did one funnel playing DCC. I have no desire to do another one.
Yeah. I enjoy running them because you get to waste a lot of characters as the DM. That part's fun, but playing in them, I was like disinterested 20 minutes in.
And that was me. I think I've done 2 funnels with Roger. And the first time was my first time playing with Roger. It was my first time doing DCC. I didn't know anything about it. So I made 4 characters, and I made 4 characters. And at the end of it, I was like, wow, I wasted a lot of time. I basically wasted 75% of my time making 3 characters that were doomed from the start. So the next time we did it, I just rolled 3d6 down the line, didn't give a crap about anything, and I named the characters 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's what the funnels make me feel like. This is completely pointless. As a matter of fact, they died. And, again, this was early on into Rogers and my friendship. He's got a little rubber stamp thing that says dead or killed or something like that.
Yeah.
And he went to stamp it, and I was like, what are you doing? And he said, oh, for him, it's part of the joke in DCC. And I was like, they're not your fucking trophies. You're not stamping my character sheet.
Yeah.
And I watered them up and threw them away because that's how I felt about it.
Nice.
So yeah, I am not a fan of funnels, and it's not, and I'm putting more emotion to this than is needed. Roger didn't offend me. There was nothing like that. It's just, I don't want to play a game where I know that 3 of my guys are going to die. I don't really get that. So it just doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I mean, I enjoy, I enjoy playing them and running them. Obviously I run them more than I play them, but, I just like, I feel the same way about them as I do for like a convention game. And where it's like the characters are going to get thrown away. Now, I mean, I know you,
right.
I mean, I keep characters right from convention to convention, and I'll pull out, the same character, but that doesn't, bother me. Like, I know that you do that, and it's more of a thing, like you want to see your characters go through, and do stuff. Yeah, I don't know that those probably aren't the words that I would use, but
Guys, I'm really sorry about the ridiculous glare coming in on my thing. I'm in a hotel, and there's a beam of light coming through, and no matter what I do, it won't go.
The way I look at it, Jason, God is shining down his approval on your
angelic
opinion
halo
that funnels are dumb. So
my opinions are right for the rest of the show.
So yeah, but
God
now,
is right that Jason is right.
But now, having said that, right, like Shadow Dark has the gauntlet thing. And
yes,
I don't do that. I don't do that. It doesn't feel like it's right. I don't know. It feels strange to me, right? Like in DCC, it's fine because it fits like the theming of the game for me, whereas it doesn't in Shadow Dark. For me, obviously.
Yeah.
To do that. So
con game, sure, but nah.
I wouldn't even play it at a con game, and I go into every con game thinking my character's gonna die. But I wouldn't sign up for a funnel letter.
You wouldn't play a funnel? Why is that, Stan?
I just don't enjoy them. Like,
there you go.
I mean, they were okay. Like I said, I've only done one, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then but I have zero desire to do another one.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. I mean, a lot of people aren't like, they don't want to like throw, people at the thing knowing that they're going to, the character's going to get killed doing the thing or something. But I don't know. I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, I enjoy running and I enjoy playing them,
Yeah.
So
because I always put too much thought into this sort of nonsense. I think for me, despite the fact that it's DCC, which is, there is nothing about that system that is supposed to be taken seriously. You're supposed to be just like going for the ride, and I get that. But with a funnel, say you've got 5 people sitting there playing the game. That means there's 20 people going into whatever this death trap is.
Yeah.
Who the hell's going to do that? And that's why I'm like, I can see 5 young people that are like, either we're desperate or we think we're tough enough. This is our chance for fame and fortune. 20 is like, what was that Korean show that was on Netflix that was so big?
Oh, yeah.
So you all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Squid Game.
Squid Game. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's 100 people that are like, well, 99 of us are going to die. Dude, go get a job. What are you talking about? So that's kind of like my mental beef with the funnels. I don't understand why anybody would want to do that. And
I'm going to say that you're right. You're reading too much into it.
Yes, I am. But we all know how I am, man. I can't change that. So.
Like for me, like I understand what you're saying 100%. Like I do, right? Like, and if you're looking at the mindset of like, hey, why are these 20 people lined up? Like like I reminds me of playing Lemmings, right? The old video game.
Yes.
You know, it's like, why are these 20 people lined up to basically just fall into the meat grinder? You know
Right.
what I mean? Like they just keep coming out of the
dumb.
woodwork. Yeah, oh yeah, sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll go, we'll get there, right? Like it seems like something like goblins would do, right? Or something
Yeah.
like that, where you just, you know, throw more people at the problem. But I just kind of like look past that and like, you know, try and say, okay, I'm just going to have a good time here. And like, and it makes it easier for me when I have like 4 characters that all have like 2 hit points or whatever it is, right? That are all kind of crap characters. It makes it really, really easy for me to say, hey, yeah, there's a suspicious looking statue. Like, yeah, I'm going to go climb on top of it. Or, oh, that's a door. Yeah. Oh, I'll kick that door open. Or, oh,
Yeah.
what's that thing that's snarling in the corner? Yeah, I'll go pet it. Like, and for me, like that's, and I mean, I'll do that in con games anyway. But like, if I have 4 characters to do that with, like, it makes it easier for me to do that because I'm like, oh, well,
Certainly true. Yeah.
George is going to go and try and jump this pit trap and, you know, like whatever. And it's like, George plummeted to his death. Well, Fred's going to do it now, you know, or whatever.
You know, that first funnel we did was for Un-America. And, you know, Doc was my surviving character, and I ended up playing him the entire campaign. And he's one of my all-time favorite characters. I love playing that dude. I had a great time with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, but I still don't like funnels, but I do understand what you're saying. I agree that having, you know, knowing I'm sitting down at the table, I've got 4 characters. If 3 of them die, I'm still sitting at the table playing. So that is good.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a specific mindset to the, you know, to a funnel, you know, which is why that, I mean, I think it works in DCC and not in Shadow Dark.
Yeah.
You know, like I wouldn't do the gauntlet rules in Shadow Dark because it just seems, I don't know, it seems like too ridiculous. Like I feel the same way you feel
as it is
about it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
it's because it is. There you go.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that kind of put me off a little bit about Shadow Dark. I don't know, my players seemed all right with it, but like when I ran Shadow Dark, I mean, it was a friggin' meat grinder. Like, we had one. I think we had 6 sessions with 6 character deaths, and one of my players owned 5 of those. Like every session, his character was just getting murked. Like every session, and I was just kind of like, and I kind of went into it like the idea maybe this will become like a more long-term thing. So I'm like, you're not building a foundation to a game there. I mean, we had one character that was like, ended up being the OG, like he was the original character played. Everybody else, with the exception of my son, who came in late, went through characters, and it's just like,
When we first started playing Shadow Dark, our group had a very similar experience, and I almost to the last. I was seeing the same thing that happened in Basic Fantasy and C&C. The players were doing the dumbest nonsense possible, and then surprised when they got killed. What do you mean I'm dead? What do you, dude? You just walked into a room with 5 monsters by yourself. What did you think was going to happen? And you know, and we've talked about this ad nauseum. You know, everybody's got the 5e superhero character syndrome. And then when they play a slimmed down version where your character is not superheroes, they're like, oh, I'm a little more fragile. You know, I don't think we've had any characters die. We've become much more cautious. At least I don't think so. I mean, we've had some people get knocked down. We've had people dying, but the graveyard full of PCs has not had a contribution in quite a while. So.
Yeah, and I think that's something to be said about Shadow Dark too, where you're not just like dead. Like Basic Fantasy, you hit 0, you're dead, right? At least like in Shadow Dark, there's a chance that, like, you know, I mean, it doesn't matter. One, like if you go to -20 or whatever, like, you know, you're at 0 and you have so many rounds. You know,
1d4 rounds.
Yeah. So that, I mean, there's something to be said there, you know, to help with, you know, the dying thing. So, but yeah, so, I mean, but like, so like back to the topic here, like size wise, like I really don't think there's a huge difference between like these two, right? Like content wise, like, I mean, there's more random tables and stuff in here. But as far as like a game, like I think there's the same amount of game in both of these books. I mean, and I mean, I would say the same thing for basic fantasy too. I mean, just talking about the core stuff. I understand that in Shadow Dark that we're using extra stuff, right? But like all that aside, there's 4 character classes in here, right? And it's 1 through 10, and I think it's very similar to this. And this is a lot smaller of a book. Yeah, what do you guys think?
I know that Mike feels totally the opposite of my opinion on this, because we've talked about, the similar subject a few times. I even said it Sunday while we were sitting there going through the books. I looked up at you and I said, I really like the layout of this book. And I'm not shilling for Shadow Dark. I've talked to Roger about, I think that we should leave Shadow Dark. I don't think it's got enough on the bone. In fact, now I'm going to shill for Chubby because it's that time of the week again. If we were not using Chubby's Player's Companion, I would not be having fun playing Shadow Dark.
Yeah.
And I was all for playing in the beginning. I think it's a good system. I'm glad we've checked it out. But if it weren't for his Player's Companion, I'd be done. But we are, and I'm still having fun with it. But I've got the book open, and I like the thickness of the paper. I like the size of the font. I'm
Absolutely.
I'm 54. My sight's starting to fade, as much as I hate to say it. I don't like wearing my glasses when I'm looking at my stuff. I can open that book up, set it on the table. One, it takes up half as much room as a normal size book, and it's easy for me to read. And I really like that. I think it's a bang up, format. I really like it. Mike does not. He said that a few times. He does not like that format at all. If you made a book bigger, it'd be this thin. He's not wrong. If you shrank the font down a little bit, I like it. So.
Oh, agile. Medical leave from work to severe re-injury, chemical damage. So you folks, all I have for entertainment this week. Well, we'll try and entertain.
We love you, buddy. I am more than willing to act like a complete and total jackass on the internet to entertain you.
I don't think I said that Mike is wrong. I think I said I disagree with his opinion.
So I get what you're saying, right, Jason, about Shadow Dark and stuff, but like the layout and font and all aside, like this, I think a part of it, a lot of this book could be a lot closer to this size.
I was actually just thinking that I would love to take all the text from Shadow Dark, copy and paste it into Notepad, and then do the same thing with Whitebox FMag and see which one's longer.
Put it down. Yeah, right.
I'll bet you they're pretty close.
Some of it's interesting. And like Jason mentioned, the paper, right? Like these two books, like this is like 140 pages and this is like 320 pages.
Yeah.
So in the Shadow Dark book is like 4 times the size of this. But it's because the pages are like twice as thick.
I'm going to figure this out right now.
And I am not, that's, oh my God, dude. You guys, this happened backstage. I think I was making fun of them when we started the show. I think maybe 2 months ago, Mike and Roger were talking about paperweight. And I don't mean like a rock on a piece of paper. I mean how much paper you get in a bundle. Yeah. And the thickness, and I was like, "This is the most boring conversation. This is the most boring conversation I have ever heard. I do not care about paper quality, but Kelsey and Shadow Dark, the Arcane Library, those guys have put together a book that feels good in my hands. I like it.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that paperweight matters.
I'm not saying that. Stop.
No.
Paperweight absolutely matters. I'm a paperweight snob.
Me too. I am too. Yeah.
80 weight
I am
coated
paper snob.
The way to go.
Yeah. I'm definitely a paper snob.
Yeah. My printer is mostly for work. I print out my my Shadow Dark, all of my characters. I print them out on my computer or my printer that I bought for work. And I buy the cheapest paper because it's for work and nobody cares about that stuff.
I care.
So yes, when I walk into Roger's place and I put my character down and it floats because that paper is almost non-existent. Like Roger's like, eh.
Yeah, and I give him a look like, 20-pound. It's like, oh man.
And I know that Edgelord is just giving us a hard time, but no, again, I'm saying that is not what I'm saying. I'm saying Chubby's Player's Companion is awesome and Shadow Dark is okay.
Yeah.
There.
No,
But right now we're just talking about book size.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean that was like the thing for me, like, right? Like but other than that, like I think these two games are very, close. Right. Like, and I would put OSE almost in here. Maybe not OSE advanced, right? The OSE, which I know that's like a moot point at this point, but like OSE advanced, I think has more of a game to it. And I'd be interesting to see when the new version comes out, if the book is bigger than this, So, wow. Yeah. You don't like Shadow Dark. I mean, that's obvious, but,
I
mean, I can see it.
Opinion. Yeah,
I get that people don't like it.
I don't think it's a turd. It's not.
Right.
It is a good game for what it is, but what it is a dungeon crawling, carousing loop.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. But like Dan, on that note, like my thing, like my favorite Appendix N stories
is Fafhrd and the Grey Mouse.
The Fafhrd the Grey Mouser stuff. And
Vice
this
Conan,
perfectly, like
that 100%.
That's this. Yes. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. It does exactly that.
Yeah.
And this, boy, I just love when we get to talk about this stuff. That is my problem with Shadow Dark. And that's why I'm actually kind of leaning towards Baron Karz's opinion. I don't think it's a turd.
Sure.
But I think it's close to it because I want more from my game than going into the dungeon, fighting monsters, getting 100 gold, coming back and getting drunk for the weekend. That does not appeal to me at all. I do it because that's the game that we're playing and I want to play. But I want so much more from
I think that's also dependent on who's, running it and what you're doing. Because I watch games that isn't all that they do. Like
and we're doing more than just that. I mean, but that is heavily, part of it. I'm going to try and incorporate like doing some of the training stuff and things like that. That's not just the carousing, but I'm letting them build stuff. They've kind of got a base. You know what I mean? There's all that stuff.
It's definitely geared towards that. But I think it's incumbent on, the players and the game master to take it in different directions.
Sure. But like also like, and for the purposes of like this show, right? Like, of this episode, right? Does size really matter? Like this is one of the things that I was thinking about when I was, I'm talking about this show is like, is this book plus all the Western Reaches stuff, plus Chubby's book, but you know what I mean? Like that's a lot of pages now together. Yeah. Now we've got like the equivalent of like 5 or 6 of these books, right? Which is something that I got upset about in 3.5 days. Like, is that still less, even though it's more, is it less than a game of something like Hyperborea or OSE? Like just at its face. You know what I mean? Like
I can't speak to OSE.
Sure.
I bought them at the con. More about that later. But I can speak to it about Hyperborea. When I pick up the Player's Handbook to Hyperborea, there's 2 books for Hyperborea, Player's Handbook and DM's Guide. Mm-hmm. When I pick up the Player's Handbook, I feel like this is a complete system that is fully fleshed out, fully grown,
100%.
And I don't see that we could ever get bored with it.
It leaves you wanting for nothing.
Yes, it is so freaking good. But Shadow Dark, man, and like talking about, that one book, just like you said, it's got 4 classes in it.
Yep.
That's not what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And that's why I've said so many times, without Chubby's Player's Companion, I wouldn't want to play Shadow Dark anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I'm fine with just the 4 classes, that. I mean, that's one of the things that we kind of differ on, but
you just want 2 classes, or was it just 1?
Well, I mean, we'll we'll save that argument. Yeah, Dan gave a little bit of a look there. Dan, I'm not. We'll save this for an episode, but just to bring you and everybody else that wants to know up to speed, I always start thinking about the argument of like, one, do we really need the thief class? Because like it wasn't originally in there because everybody's sort of a thief anyway. Like they're all raiding tombs and going in that anyway. So I think we can just kind of incorporate all the thief stuff in everybody else. Like just give everybody one thief ability, whatever, and that's it. So we really don't need
Absolutely
thieves.
not.
And then shut up, I'm talking. And no.
Stan and I are like this on this.
And then I mean, if you're gonna do that, I start thinking about the cleric and the wizard, and pretty much the spell casting. I mean, that's the same. So like, why do we have two separate classes? Just have caster and fighter.
That is the wrongest stuff I've ever heard in one single conversation.
That is the trashiest take ever.
So
good Lord.
So we just need two classes. Now, if you really want to like, mince words over it, I mean, since we have different stats and all of that, I mean, let's just give everybody the ability to spell cast, if they have like a higher, like a +1 or higher or whatever in that stat or above a certain number. And then now we don't even need, classes. Now you just have the one class.
That's going to be a good Thursday episode.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, this is where I'm at, let's see what Agile has to say. Game Master Roger Neighborhood, I want to say something here. Shadow Dark is and has created its place in the hobby. Kelsey and Jesse have made their name and has something good, but dun, 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 it's slowly going to lose some of its leverage. Professor DM with Deathbringer being unsupported by Stephen Glicker. Roll for combat is going to break away and change. I think the reason why Shadow Dark is going to start to go down is because in order to play Shadow Dark next year, you're going to need a handful of these books.
The 5e problem.
Yeah, right. And that's a problem. It's no longer, here's this book, do it, right? Like the problem is that now we're going to get into, hey, this new version of OSE does more than or the same as these 5 books do, together.
Right.
Mark, I really don't want to play 5e or 2024. I have issues with those. Just with all the extra stuff that you can do, the extra, actions and everything.
I have
else.
something interesting to share.
Yeah. Oh, and Agile finished up, which is, sorry, 1 second, Dan.
They're good.
We'll begin to see product dilution over time. Other OSR and SR games are going to extend themselves. Absolutely. That's absolutely, that's going to happen. Yeah. Go ahead, Dan.
I used the power of Python and PyPDF, which is an incredible module, to extract all the text and do a word count.
Yep.
Shadow Dark has 70,458 words in it. OSE Classic Fantasy Rules Tome has 89,530, which makes sense to me because I feel like that's more complete than Shadow Dark. Swords and Wizardry Complete Revised has 104,651, which also makes sense to me because it's way better than both those previous two games.
Wow.
And White Box FMAG has 22,234. So it's got about a third what Shadow Dark does, word count wise.
But I think it's almost, well, yeah, I guess because that's all the.
Now, granted, the way I wrote it, it's going to count every entry on a chart as a word. Jason's like, what is this autist doing here?
No, he's read Ed's
comment, dude.
Oh, I just saw that.
Oh man.
Oh god.
Oh man.
Boy, you made me blush. Congratulations, dude. Look at that.
Yeah.
I can see it. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah.
Boy. Sorry. I'm sorry, Dan. I didn't mean to stop you there.
So it's all good, brother. That was funny as hell. But I mean, like, having played them, like, it makes sense to me kind of like how I would essentially rank these games on like a completeness scale. Swords and Wizardry has more going for it than Shadowdark and OSE. I consider OSE having more to it procedure-wise than Shadowdark. And, you know, White Box FMAG, great little game, complete game, very tight. And, you know, some of it obviously is going to be weighted too by like how many monsters they have in the book and that kind of thing. But it's a fun little experiment. So
yeah, no, I agree. No, and I get it, right? And so like I think that's part of it. And like Michael, to what like Agile was saying and stuff like that. Like I think like wow, 22,000. That's I just look back at that. It's like it's crazy.
22,000 for FMAG. Shadowdark has 70,000. Yeah,
right. But like Shadowdark, like with that, right? Considering with the West Marches thing and everything else. Yeah. We're at probably 300,000 plus words because there's another 2 of these books
at least. Yeah.
You know, so it's, I mean, it's crazy that, you know, whereas OSE Classic is still like 90,000 and that has like the wilderness travel rules and whatnot, you know, in it. Now, obviously that's not, I mean, that's classic. It's not but compared to Shadowdark, I think they're about on the same level as far as like content and things like that with Shadowdark plus the Western Reaches stuff, you know, like that. I mean, so that's interesting, you know. And
I also think Shadowdark will dilute by nature of it being a very good gateway game for 5e players. They will play it.
Sure.
I think they will find themselves wanting more, and then they will go search for that more, whatever it may be.
So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Shadowdark like do you think because of all the extra stuff it'll have like the same problem that like you guys have brought it up before? I know Mike has brought it up before with like 2nd edition where there's like a ton of extra books, a ton of extra classes, a ton of extra things. Like I brought it up in 3rd edition 3.5 where like those games of mine got out of hand because everybody had, you know, 8 different books that they were pulling stuff from. Like do you think that's going to happen? Like I see that happening to Shadowdark now. I mean, do you guys think that will happen where people will get sick of it because it's no longer just this one kind of thing?
If you're only counting like official stuff, no, I don't think so. Because I don't think like the books aren't like densely packed. Like if you open up a 2nd edition book, those books are densely packed with information, and Shadowdark books are not that way.
Yeah.
So I don't think like adding the player's guide to the Western Reaches to your Shadowdark collection as a player, if you have the core book, is a big leap or a bridge too far. You know, like I think that it'll give them just enough of those extra options, you know, more character classes and stuff that they might be looking for.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, honestly, I'm looking forward to Western Reaches just because from running the game perspective, it'll be 3 tabs open on my PDF monitor instead of 7. So that's easier to parse. But and I'm
like, yeah, like what Dan's saying, I think it's actually a boon because now all I need is 1 extra book and I have all of the classes that are in 6 different scrolls. I don't have to sift through all those. I can just bring 1 extra book that's going to be roughly the same size as the core book, which is not big, and good to go.
Yeah. No, I mean, I mostly agree with that. You know, I just think that it's going to get like I think that in another 2 years, Kelsey's going to have to release, you know, Shadowdark complete or something.
But what if instead she just keeps doing new printings instead of a true new version?
Well, no. I mean, yeah. But I mean, what I'm saying is like eventually, like all the Western Reaches stuff and all those classes, like are all going to have to get incorporated into one.
Yeah, there's going to have to be like a Shadowdark omnibus at one point.
Yeah,
and it's not going to work in an A5. She's going to have to go a bit bigger with it.
It's going to be an A5. It's going to be an A5
it's as thick as it is tall. Yeah,
it's going to look like a loaf of bread.
Yeah, or she's going to do a box set with 2 volumes or something like that. Yeah.
Or a box set or something like that.
But to your question, because I didn't answer it yet. Yes and no. you and I have talked about 3.5 a lot, and I've always said the same thing to you. I understand the concern. I get, you get a mountain of splat books. Everybody wants to play some oddball race in some weird,
Sure.
half-baked class. All you have to do is say no.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
No, I get it.
3.5 is another one of those systems where if you've got the player's handbook, this is a fully developed system with 8 races and 10 classes. You can play Dungeons and Dragons with just a player's handbook, and there's plenty of meat on that bone. So I think Kelsey widening the gaze of Shadow Dark is a good thing. And again, I'm only talking about myself because those 4 classes go boring for me.
I agree.
And I've said, I don't like playing a cleric, and Sunday's game was the epitome of why I don't want to play a spellcaster in that system. So you're leaving me with Thief and Fighter. I've got 2 classes I can choose from. And
now you're just getting back to Roger's system that he was theorizing 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, which
awful.
Which I think
That
is
should be the
more
title of it.
No, I agree with you. When you play Shadow Dark, especially low level, and you're a caster and you lose that first spell, like on your first attempt, it sucks.
So when I sit down and my dice start pissing me off, I start tracking my rolls. Sunday night, I rolled 33 times. 23 of those rolls were 10 or less. I rolled 4 1s, 120, and the highest other than that 120 I rolled the entire night was a 15.
Yeah.
My 8-sided die was my damage, and then later on the carousing die. I got to roll my 8-sided die 5 times. I rolled 4 1s on an 8-sided die. Yeah, including the carousing roll where I got raped and thrown in prison, and they took all my money and
Oh my God.
flayed me alive. I mean, dude, I was.
I don't think that happened. But
usually at the end of the night, I hang out for a couple minutes and hey, I had a great time. See you guys later. I was so pissed Sunday night that I packed up. I was like, I'll see you next week, and left. I just, boy,
I've had games like that in Shadow Dark too.
Yeah, hate it.
No, I get it. Like what you're saying about 3rd edition, you're absolutely right. But I think that like the core books of 3rd edition is more of a complete game than just the Shadow Dark core book is. Like I think that like with Shadow Dark, I feel that I need the Western Reaches stuff.
Yeah.
Like I need it to run the campaign that I want to run.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like you said, when we first started talking about Shadow Dark, we're not running the circular mill of dungeon carousing.
Right.
Yeah, I want more.
We're doing other stuff.
Right. Yeah. And so, we incorporated Chubby's book, the Player's Companion stuff. Obviously we're using the core book stuff. We're using the stuff from the beta, release there for the Western Reaches. And I'm using some other stuff, that I found that's, out there, articles and things like that, for doing some of the wilderness things and, building things and all of that. So it's been interesting, but like there comes a point where like, no matter what we add to it, like, I don't know if it's going to be, enough. And I really like Shadow Dark, right? I know I seem like I'm convincing myself to run something like Hyperborea or something.
You should. It's a complete game and it's awesome.
Which might happen, and I mean, I'll have to definitely look back into it. I didn't do a lot of hex crawling and stuff. And hey, take care, Edgelord.
Later, guys.
Bye,
Thanks.
Where was I? I don't remember what I was saying.
You were talking about hex crawling. You didn't do much.
Yeah,
of it.
like I didn't do a lot of that because I ran Curse of Strahd, basically a heavily modified version of Curse of Strahd, with Hyperborea, and that was, I mean, it was fine, but so I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at the hex crawl stuff and things like that. I don't remember what he's got in there for that. Not that that's that difficult. To use, some third party stuff, but I don't know if he's got that and like building stuff or what, I mean, I'll have to go back to like the old Judges Guild stuff, which is fine. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to find something that is as complete as possible, so, who knows? Hyperborea might be it, but I mean, I do want to try Shadow Dark. I mean, if for no other reason than to be, the great experiment, like to see where it ends up when we're at higher levels. Because right now, what's the highest level that we hit? 4, 5?
Yeah, dipshit was
4?
4th level when I stopped playing them, and I think that's the highest
Yeah.
I've gotten.
Yeah. So I mean, I still think that that's not like a, like a not like I think there's more testing to be done. You know what I mean? Like I think
Yeah,
we need
and
to
that's
see.
part of part of the Shadow Dark leveling system is you roll 2d6 and you get one ability, and and that ability might be a +1 to your spell casting or +2 to a stat. You're not making super strong characters,
Right.
Even at 9th level, you'd have to be the luckiest guy on the planet to get something that's like, I have a +10 to my spell casting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It tends to spread the abilities out very evenly.
Sure.
I was 8th level when we finished playing it. As a player, I was 8th level. My goblin
Sure.
wizard. I had like 15 hit points, but I did have good. I think I had at least a +7 to my spell casting though, because I rolled that a couple times. Plus, I had a really good intelligence.
Yeah.
I had a really good bonus. I still failed spells though; it still happened. But because I roll much like Jason does, so
Yeah.
Hey, Erudite.
Would you like Shadow Dark more if it had rules for hirelings and henchmen in it?
it definitely should.
In the core book, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think and that's in I'm pretty sure it's in the Western
I'm
Reaches
pretty sure
stuff.
it's in Western Reaches. Yeah, I'm curious how it's going to change the game.
I've seen it somewhere, in there. It might have been that stuff, or might have been another
We
supplement.
ended up just winging that and because we ended up hiring a big Viking woman to lug our shit.
Yeah.
That's all her job was.
So I don't know. My issue is like we had players, when we were doing other systems and stuff, and maybe it'd be different now, but like we had players that were like just taking advantage of the hireling system and saying, "Oh, okay, we're gonna hire these 40 guys," and then they would put like the minis out on the table.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, here's all 40 guys, and they're 120 feet ahead of the whole party, the ones getting like mowed down and like shot at first and all that, while all like NPCs are having lunch,
That is why I didn't answer Dan's question, because I don't want to use hirelings, because specifically because of that. I hated when the other players did that, and I think it was Baron Carson that said, it's just a piece of paper. To me, it's not a piece of paper. Those are 40 guys that have entrusted their lives to my character, and I feel like, I know how freaking weird it is, but throwing them into the meat grinder is unjust, and that's not something that my character would be doing. My lawful good cleric would not be doing that. So I never wanted to hire the hirelings because I felt like they were being abused.
There's also, I'm sorry, Jason.
No, you're fine. But my whole thing was, if you're going to do that, the next time you go to hire hirelings, they're going to be like, dude, we've heard about you.
Yeah.
Right.
You whacked 2 companies of my companions. We want nothing to do with you. Or they would jack the prices up so high that it would be like, wow, I spent 500 gold on this guy. I don't think I want to throw him into the meat grinder. I think there should be consequences.
Well, I think that was part of it, was like the cost like per month for like a guy, was super low, and so and at that point we were in Castle Crusades, I think, and so the money was flowing a little bit easier, I think in Shadow Dark, if the prices would be the same, like if it was like 1 gold or 3 gold, right, for a guy to go out, like that's a lot.
Yeah.
In Shadow Dark, it's a lot more than it was in CNC.
Right. You just have to adjust it to the economy, but that's another thing. When we're walking into town with thousands of gold just falling out of our ass,
right?
When we go to hire somebody, they're like, if Joe the barber was hiring me, I would only charge him 2 copper to guard his wagon. You, on the other hand, I know what you're packing. My fee is 200 gold a day.
Yeah, right.
That's what I would do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hired. I don't know. They probably hired 20 guys at most. Maybe they had 30, at 40. I don't know. At some point when they went doing stuff, but we had like a larger city, I guess, or a smaller city, that had like 2,000 people
good
in
game.
it. So, yeah.
Roger, when we first started doing hirelings, the way the game was working was the city had a basic population and every month that population would increase by 10% up to a certain point, and X number of that 10% would be mercenaries. So he was keeping track of it on the board. You've got 48 mercenaries that are currently in town available for hire, and if 8 of them died, whoosh, you've got 40 mercenaries available for hire in town. So they were definitely a finite resource, and that's something that I really liked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, and like Erudite's okay. Lord Madius, Mini Master. And maybe what I should do is like put somebody in charge of that. Like I know I've talked about doing that sort of thing before. Like find like a third party, like Dan, for example, right? Like just put Dan in charge of the mercenaries. Right.
Well, now
Dan,
you're just running a Bronstein, but I'm here for it. That's fine.
well, that's not really a okay. I'm not gonna have this debate. That's not a Bronstein. The Pro SR is wrong on that. I'm sure that I'll get hunt down and yelled at now that I said that out loud.
Whatever. They're all manlets anyway.
So thanks for that, Dan. But no, but yeah, no. I mean, like I've always talked about like doing that, and I've had players that like some of them want to do that stuff, some of them don't want to have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Like they hand off like NPCs and like things like that. So, but I think maybe that's a way to do it is to take somebody like you, Dan, and say, okay, here's this town. You've got 100 mercenaries that are, this level. These guys are this skill. Here's the list of guys. What do you want to charge? And then, and then you keep track, and then people can message you and be like, hey, my character this. And then you could deal with them and say, yeah, what happened to the last 10 guys I sent with you like yesterday? Didn't you just get them all killed? Like,
well, and it's funny.
This one's going to cost you, more an hour or whatever.
So Matt Tapp does have some players that kind of function as guild leaders on his Game of Games server. So there's some of that goes on. So I'll do that for you if you have people that are being punks and need to be put down for letting all my mercenaries be put to the sword. Because you know what? Hiring mercenaries are people there that are there for gold, there for glory, and there for a share. They're not your own personal DCC funnel.
Yeah. No, and that might work. So maybe we'll look into that. And and RP Grandpa says it always ends up with the players abusing hirelings. See what I did there, Jeff? I just read the thing and it says RP Grandpa, and I just said it. I don't know if Jeff's still watching.
By the way, I've got my word counts. So Shadow Dark Core is 70K and a bit of change. All 6 Cursed Scrolls together are 80K. So that's 150K for Shadow Dark. Now that being said, there's a lot of like adventures and stuff in the Cursed Scrolls, so that's not just rules text. Right. OSE Advanced, the 2 tomes together are about 165,000 words. And
wow.
That's rules.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Math guy. Woo.
That's interesting. Yeah. Cool stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, but yeah, that's something that I've wanted to do, and Baron Cars is just rural town economy able to handle 1,000 gold.
No.
Yeah. That's like an issue too. And I've tried to like hand wave some of the stuff. Like I can't, like I get, if you look at like the traditional D&D economy, generally it doesn't work, right? You have characters bringing in thousands and thousands of gold, and they're like trying to buy magic items and stuff when you've got, a blacksmith that makes, 5 gold a month, and like somehow he's got, 1,000 gold to make a +1 sword or whatever it is, right? And then the players come in and buy it, and then what does he do? You know what I mean? Like he should retire at that point. Right, he makes 1 +1 sword. He just retires, and then they don't have a blacksmith that can make +1 swords. I mean, I get the whole situation is not great, but I mean, I try and keep it realistic. But I mean, I also understand that I am running a game of D&D and not a full blown economic simulator. My name is not Macrease. So I mean that's where I am, and I agree with Baron Karza. Dan, you should You should post those up somewhere.
Yeah.
So you can link to them.
Yeah, I'll do it with a bit more. It's interesting. I'll do it with a bit more robustness than I did now, just doing quick counts because, I would like filter out for like tables, right? Right now, every element of a table is being counted as a word, and maybe try to filter out the dungeon stuff from the Cursed Scrolls because that would be actually interesting. Like how many words of rules text are in each of these?
Yeah, no, that'd be really interesting. I'd be interested to know that.
All right, I'm gonna make that a video. Thanks, Baron Cars. So that'll be my probably, I don't know, 4th video. First one's going up tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, nice. I'm gonna be a real YouTuber.
What's it on? You want to tell us, or?
Yeah, I got to interview Corey Walden, who's the guy who wrote the Anthropophagy of Zambala module for Hyperborea.
Cool.
30 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
And it was super cool.
Fantastic.
So all 5 people that'll watch it, I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
It'll be a good time. So
yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So there's definitely that. Like, I don't know. So the hireling thing is definitely, a point of contention here. For some things, like, and I get like to Jason's point too. Like, I like the idea of hirelings, right? But like Jason's saying, like at some point, you're gonna hire 10 guys to like go do what you should be doing as a group.
Right.
Like, where's the
but it's kind of incumbent on the DM if they try to do that to be like, the NPCs the hireling's gonna be like, the fuck we are. We're not doing that.
Right.
It's kind of like its own little mini game for the DM that you're only really going to get with experience, right? You have to know when to push back and be like, no, these guys aren't going to do that. Or, okay, you hired 40. Guess what? They kill you and take all your stuff.
Yeah. Well, my whole thing has always been that like those mercenaries, like they won't go into the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not going into the dungeon. Like they're used for like outdoor stuff only.
Yeah.
Like
I wouldn't even limit it that far. Like I'm fine with them going in the dungeon, but like they are not going to be sacrificial lamb. And my guys, we use them in like Dragon Slayer and not too much in CNC. It has matter of fact, actually, good case in point. The wizard in my CNC game at one point, he hired a woman. She was a fighter to like basically be his bodyguard. And this is how my guys treat NPCs. Like she got killed by a piercer. It hit her, and they're pretty brutal, and killed her. That fundamentally changed his character. Like he was like, I do not want to be responsible for somebody else. He's like, it's okay for these guys that I adventure with but I was paying that person just to protect me, and they were killed.
Yeah,
and they were. He's like, nope, I'm not hiring anymore. And it was only because of that. It wasn't because
right.
Well,
yeah, and I get that, right? But like, if I think there's been a lot of times where players have hired like an NPC, or there's been an NPC that has gone around with them that has like a name and all of that, and there's definitely more of a connection there where they feel bad if something happens to that person, as opposed to like the mercenaries, because they don't have any names. Now, maybe when Dan's running the mercenary guild, he'll name them.
I will.
And
every
they'll
single
have
one.
names
And I'll give them tragic backstories. 5 pages long. You have to read each backstory to hire them.
Greg Gillespie has a really interesting thing. Like he has this website called Meat Shields.
Oh, yeah.
Click a couple buttons, you can punch up an NPC. But one of the things is, I think it gives them a name, but it gives them like a little bit of a personality trait. And we've leaned into those when we use them in our Dragon Slayer games because they're great. Like we have, we just in our last session, we got a war dog, we got a torchbearer, and we got a porter. All that kind of stuff, and
that's,
they all have names. We, in the middle of the battle, we're yelling at them, yelling for them to get back, get out of there, and get away from what we were fighting. And I mean, that's just where my group does it. Like,
and that's one thing
treat them like they're a number.
That AD&D 1E really addressed quite well. Hirelings would not go into the dungeon, would not go into anything dangerous. You had to have henchmen. And you were limited by how many henchmen you could have by your charisma modifier.
Your charisma, and they would take a share. They would take a partial.
They would take a share. They take experience. They take gold, and they level up.
Which is something that doesn't work in Shadowdark.
Right.
Like you'd have to rework it because with the carousing thing, it doesn't matter if you pay 30 gold, you can have one guy, or you can have 50 guys, you know what I mean, guys go out partying, and it's, you know, it's the thing. So you gotta like work around that.
Mhm.
You know, and so, you know, and that's sort of what he's saying, I let them go in the dungeon if I pay extra or get a share, but you can't get a share for in
Guarding is
Shadowrun
not
makes
a
it harder
share.
to,
Guarding is a daily wage,
no,
in my opinion. But
right, no, guarding, torch bearers, stuff
yeah,
like that, yeah, absolutely, that's not a share. But
into
if
the
they're going to go
dungeon,
in
into
the
the
dungeon with a
yeah
sword or whatever, then
share.
yeah. Like if they're standing in the middle of the party and they're just holding the torch and carrying shit, I'm okay with them not getting a share.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to expect them to draw arms, you know, like
Also, I'm
that's
completely sorry I derailed our book size and system size conversation by asking randomly about hirelings and henchmen.
no, to talk about mercs and stuff. That's
Yeah.
all right. We'll do another episode. We'll talk about mercs and, you know, things like that. That'll be fine. But so, you know, yeah, there's a lot of different Maze Rats tables are great, yeah, for NPC generation. Yeah. Some of that stuff is pretty good. Some of that's like that's fine for like, you know, henchmen, but not hirelings.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can't have a mercenary company, or like, you know, because people are going to hire 10 swordsmen right at a time or whatever. Like you can't have different names and different personalities and then trying to adjudicate that at the table. I mean, that's a different game. If you want to play that game, like, you know, do it. But like that's going to get out of hand in a hurry, I think.
I think so too. Yeah.
You know, that's my opinion. But yeah. So yeah, Dan, I would love for you to start like have like a section of a website and start publishing these numbers
Okay.
of all these books and doing it, because I'm curious about like Hyperborea and all this stuff now.
Yeah.
You know, basic fantasy, like, you know what I mean. Compare all the basic stuff.
Yeah, my number brain's kind of running with it now that I started randomly doing it on the side. So
Yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, so I mean, like back to my original thing, like I'm still looking for a game that has everything I want, that's in one book, that, you know, that is a decent you know, that has a decent amount of rules that cover everything that we need to have, and a decent amount of, you know, classes and everything else, like not just rules for traveling and all of that, but it has to have enough like classes to like satiate, you know, Jason and stuff, which
I have to go with Hyperborea or Joblox AD&D. I think they're excellent in every way. Both of those systems are just excellent. I also like Crawford stuff, you know, Worlds Without Numbers and all that.
Sure.
You know, the only issue really for that is like each book is an evolution based off the previous one. So they're kind of, there's not one book that covers everything. I also really like RPG Pundit stuff. I think his stuff is really good too.
But I don't know what his I'll have to look at his travel rules and stuff in yeah, wow. What's the Polish oh, there you go. Baptism of Fire.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yep. Love it.
I got to look at the travel stuff in there.
But you know, but also, if I'm being honest, a lot of my appeal to Baptism of Fire, Lion and Dragon, is the time period that it takes place in. You know,
historical
I
stuff,
like, I like that historical fantasy. Whereas Dungeons and Dragons, Hyperborea, and all that's more of just a high fantasy generic type stuff. Not generic in a bad way.
So in this, there's 9 character classes.
Yeah,
okay,
that's enough.
Yeah. Yeah, and Baron Carter said, just steal from all 4 games, make it your own. Yeah, and I mean that's a possibility, you know. I mean, you know, so, but I don't know. That's maybe down the road. I mean, I've considered that, just building my own game. I mean, I started down that road once, and it was okay, I guess. I don't know, but it was just easier for me to use other stuff that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then Shadow Dark came along and basically did what I was trying to do. I'm not trying to sound like I was going to build Shadow Dark if she didn't or whatever, but you know,
missed
like
it by that much.
Right.
yeah, no, but I mean, that's what I was going for, you know, and so that was, you know, um, this was a better fit for me to just use this than to just keep going with, you know, with what I was doing, you know, so.
And I
Seems
have
like
no
it is.
regrets about playing Shadow Dark. I think it's a fine system. So, what
Yeah.
was that, Sam? Sorry.
It said I just happened to open up to it. It has a thing on travel times and baptisms of fire. Pretty straightforward. 18 miles a day on a well-traveled on a road or trail. 6 miles in forest. 9 miles in hills. 12 in open grassland or clear land. And then it's got stuff for horseback and river and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But it's not, which I like. Like I don't need to do a lot of math because my brain doesn't want to do a lot of math. So like I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't need anything sophisticated or whatever. Like, I mean, I just go one hex at a time and, you know, that's it usually. But, so, I mean, I could come up with that and just use it, you know, but yeah. And right. That's what Shadow Dark is a group of borrowed rules. Absolutely. But I mean, I would like to find something that encompasses everything that I want in a game. Like, and maybe building my own is the way to do it, you know, like maybe that's the only way that I'll ever be happy, right, with something. But you know, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I'd like to just find something and then not have to use, you know, multiple books and add-ons and all that stuff. Because I really want to run a game that's,
Well,
you know, out of one book, you know.
Stan and I have the perfect one book game.
yeah.
Do you? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Grab
should
back,
do.
I'll grab.
Yep, I'll grab mine too.
What game is that? So
1, 2, 3.
well, yeah.
600 pages.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm selling myself short. What am I selling myself short on? What about my ability to
I think you could make a good system. I
put
think
together a game and a system?
I think realistically, if you think about it, everybody kind of has their own system because everybody runs things. No one's running everything
Right.
raw. So
Right.
and
Right. They run everything with house rules, and that's like
Yeah.
the whole OSR like thing.
it becomes a system when you write it down.
Yeah.
But-
Right.
Alright.
But like I just feel that if 90% of my game, right? If 90% of my game is going to be this
Right.
or this, you know, whatever, or this or like whatever, like why am I building a game? And and I know Paul, I don't know if Paul's still in the chat, but like Paul is always on like, you know, oh, it's another BX clone. Like that's
Yeah.
just what we needed. You know, we needed another BX clone with one rule different, you know, than everything else. And you know, so like if I'm going to build a game and 90% of it's this, why should I make it? Now, I guess the answer to that is because then I can do my own print on demand and I can give it away for free and it gets my name out there. I can give, you know, or not free, you know what I mean? For like the kids and, you know, all that stuff. And I'd have my own thing and, you know, all of that. But I just feel that like there's people that have done similar things to what I'd want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Matt, you know, with Barrows and Borderlands, like he's maybe got too much sci-fi type of stuff like in the game that I'd like. Like Hyperborea does it okay. I think I'd like a little bit more than what he's got in there, but you know, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, rare rules as I remember. I don't even remember. Yeah. You know, I look back at like running the old school stuff, and I don't even like remember how wrong it was, but I remember going back and realizing like, oh, I screwed all this stuff up, you know, like these rules or whatever. back in the day, because I was like 11, reading the basic stuff and trying to go through it, but
I just try to follow the rule of cool.
Yep.
I don't care what the dice say.
Yeah.
If you tell me your character's doing something, I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. Roll your die. I don't care what it says. You succeeded. You might not, get a huge hit like you're hoping for, but if you want to run, jump off the wall and do a spring kick on the back of the ogre's head, I'm like, that's badass, dude. Yeah, roll that shit up. That's all I care about.
Yeah. No, and I get that. That was always like a point of contention for me with, like, and again, that's the GM, right? But like, I remember playing with, 3.5 people and stuff,
Yep.
and especially 3.3 and 3.5, because that's where like they have the skills, and that's probably why I'm turned off by like games with like a lot of skills like that, especially in a D20 system, because then the skills are there. It makes you want to use them, and you have GMs that are like, oh, okay, well, so you're going to run and jump off the wall, onto the table, to the chandelier, to the thing. So, okay, so you're going to have to make an acrobatics check to jump off the wall, and then you're going to make a jump check to jump onto the table, and then a dexterity save to jump onto the thing, and then an attack roll. And it's like, okay, I got to make 5 rolls. Like, I might as well have just walked up and stabbed the guy, because you're going to make 5 rolls, and you're going to fail one, and then you're going to land on the floor, in front of the guy. And like,
and for me, that was, that was a bad translation on the DM's part. I said that whole spring kick thing specifically because that happened to one of my characters. And I think I told that story a few months ago.
Yeah.
The only thing that mattered in that whole attack sequence was to roll to hit. Everything else was just flavor text. If I'm rolling because I want to tumble past an opponent, then that tumble matters. Roll the die. If I'm doing an acrobatics check because I'm trying to avoid damage doing something, roll the die, because then it matters. If I tell you I'm going to run up the wall, do a spring off of it, and kick the ogre in the back of the head, that doesn't do anything. Roll to hit. That is all that matters.
Right.
Your monk goes up there. He looks cool. Everybody's like, nice, and we carry on. That's all that matters with that. So having to roll 4 different dice, especially with my incredible luck, of course I fumbled the die and my monk slipped off the wall and fell on his face. But that didn't need to happen. Anyway.
So that's what I really like about games like DCC, where they have, like he says DCC uses the hero die, but they've got the deed die for the mighty deeds and stuff, which is cool because you can call like extra shit that happens. And then it's just a 3 or better and it happens. And so that would be like something that I would like to use, if you call a cool thing, that you roll the deed die. If the deed die is like 3 or higher, like maybe you get that much more damage, or what, you know what I mean? Or that much more added to it, so that people call cool things more often, But if it didn't make it, like, it just wouldn't have an effect, right? Like your roll to hit would still stand, right? You would just get an extra effect out of it, but so this way it would get people to try and do extra things just to be able to roll that die, I mean, I don't know. That's my opinion, chainmail casting. I like the way that he does the casting on that. I don't know, the whole roll to cast thing. I like the idea that it's simplified. But like things in Shadow Dark, like I think you need to have like something that says, okay, you can cast, like you cast it once. Like it doesn't fail. You don't lose it for the day until you've cast it once. But I think that adds to the complication of it, which is why she didn't do that.
Yeah.
Because then it's one extra thing that you got to take care of. Like you got a ticket, that you successfully cast it.
It's not that complicated.
No. I get that it's not complicated, but looking at from her design standpoint, she didn't want it to be cast a spell, mark it off, it's gone. You know what I mean? She wanted to be able to do it multiple times and things like that. So it's just one. So doing it that way means you have to track one more thing, which I get. It isn't hard. I get that, right? But I think that's one of the things that she wanted to eliminate. So I don't know. That's my
I mean, she was stripping it down pretty bare bones, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm sorry, I have to go.
Yeah. You mentioned that, yeah.
yeah,
You mentioned you're sitting in a wonderful hotel chair, and
it's starting to kill me, and I've
Yeah.
had enough. I'm not having a good time anymore, so I'm going to take off.
no, I get it, man. Thanks for coming.
Great
Feel better,
conversation.
Jason.
Yeah, you guys were awesome tonight, man. It was so much fun talking to everybody. Just been a really good one. So
Yeah,
cool. Enjoy the rest of
Hey,
the cast.
Jason.
everybody.
take care. Yeah,
See you guys next week.
thanks. Doesn't everyone have rules for swinging from chandeliers? I mean, I think we gotta do that. Roger thinks like a chef, making her take the ingredients you like. Poof. Yeah, I guess. I guess. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. The more I talk to everybody, the more that I want to make my own thing. Like I said, I just feel like if I'm gonna make my own thing, that like I feel like I'm not bringing anything really new. I'm just compiling things from other games that I like.
Roger,
That's
what they all are, bud.
pretty much, yeah.
I know, but I feel like that's like not. I don't know.
I'm sure you can come up with at least a couple new things that'd be cool and interesting.
Yeah, maybe.
Like make a cool class or something. But
You
it's still a fun exercise.
Yeah.
Roger's game would have one class, the Swiss Army knife of classes.
Well, at that point,
Could be
I
the-
mean, I wouldn't want to make like a D20 type of system without a bunch of classes. I think I think it becomes a different game at that point. To do a classless system, although I have considered that, and I have designs on that written down, but but yeah. Well, no, I get that, right? Like I wouldn't publish the thing is I would want to publish it. And by publish it, I mean like just put it on drive through and like have copies print out of it. Or have it so that players can like get copies. And then that also kind of turns into like if I start saying that and I've had copies that my players can get on drive through, now you guys out there are gonna say, hey, I want a copy, and Dan's gonna say I want a copy, and like at that point I might as well quote unquote publish.
Yeah.
So what is White Hack classless
I don't know. Ask Atmost.
classes? I don't recall. It's been a while since I've looked at White Hack. So good evening. So yeah, I don't know. So like I said, I maybe Hyperborea is the right game.
It is absolutely the correct, proper, and best game.
But I think that between like now and then, like I still have to go with Shadow Dark. Like I need to go at least a year with it. I need to get the characters up to a decent level, like to give it a good, run.
Yeah, I mean, you won't know until you get them up there. I mean, it's all kind of speculation,
Right.
If you don't actually play those levels out.
Right. So, and then at that point, maybe I'll switch to Hyperborea. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But, I don't know. I mean, I like the idea of Hyperborea. It was on the list before. We were going to switch to Hyperborea before we went to Castles and Crusades, but we went to CNC instead because we ended up hanging out with the Troll Lords, and they were awesome, and talked to them, and we got convinced basically to use their game. Not convinced, but I mean from looking at it and everything else, we decided it was the right way to go, and I'm glad we went that way. I'm glad I ran it.
The majority of changes I've made to CNC have pretty much come from Hyperborea.
Yeah.
By the way, I looked it up for Baron Karza. It does have archetypes: the deft, the strong, and the wise. So fighter, thief, and caster in White Hack.
Okay.
I knew it was something weird. That's why I made the flippant comment about Ask Atmos, because he got drunk and talked about White Hack nonstop at North Texas every single night that we were all hanging out in the bar. So,
fantastic.
Oh yeah, I learned a lot about White Hack, and then I promptly forgot it.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember looking at it, and I don't know. There were some things I didn't like about it. but I mean, I think it was like too simple. But like, and then on the other end, right? I kind of wanted to touch on the other end of things. I know we've talked about things that have like, books and like actual, rules and things that are big and like Hyperborea and like DCC and all of that stuff. But on the other end, like there's a lot of simple games that are out there. Right. There's a lot out there that are, I mean, you could look at like Morkborg and say, okay, this is a simple thing. And it's simple, but there's games I'm talking about, like, there's the trifold, sheet, games there all the way down. I think other than just saying, like playing pretend or whatever, right? Like without a storyteller system type of thing. I think the smallest system that I've ever seen and ran is Roll for Shoes. Have you guys ever seen that? So it started on a message board ages ago, and it was Roll. I think the original name was like Roll to See If I Have Shoes On or something like that. And the basic rules are, and I think it's fascinating for like a pickup game. I don't know if you can run it long term. And the guy that made it has since made like advanced rules, and like the name is sort of a play on like Advanced Dungeons and Dragons type of thing, because he calls it Advanced Roll for Shoes First Edition or something like that. Where he's got like advancement and stuff, but basically the rules are there's like 6 rules or whatever. But basically it's this: you start with a skill that's do anything 1. And that means you roll a d6 for that skill. And so the GM determines basically if something's easy or hard or whatever, and they're going to roll. They're either going to fix a set of DC, or they're going to roll like dice. So they might say, okay, this is a 2d6 task. So they'll roll it and say, oh, it's a 7. So you need a DC 7, right, in order to get through it. Okay, so now obviously you can't roll a 7 on a d6. So you have the first thing that you have is do anything 1. And then that's basically anything you do. So if you want to try and say, oh, there's a fence. Well, what do you want to do? Well, I want to try and climb the fence. Okay. So say it's a difficulty 3. Okay. So you roll a d6 and you get a 3. Okay. You successfully climb the fence. Okay. Perfect. If you roll a 6, you get to upgrade the skill. So now you're do anything. You have do anything 1. But since if you rolled a 6 to try and climb the fence, now you get a skill that's based on what you did at 2. So you get basically, like you say, climb 2. So now whenever you climb anything, you get to roll 2d6 and add the total together, right? Because you're better at that. But now, and every time you fail, you get an XP. And 1 XP can change not a 6 into a 6 for the purposes of advancement. So basically now, like whenever you go to climb, say like you got to climb a fence, you roll your 2d6, and if you get 1 6 there, and then and you spend an XP, you can make it 2. So then now you can get climb fence 3. So like each skill has to be more and more specific. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I know the rules make sense to me, like when I'm running it, but so like it gets more and more specific every single time. So like some of it gets out of control. Like, so you might have, like you might be like trying to like open a door, and like you might be better at opening steel doors than you are opening wooden doors, you know what I mean, or whatever, because
Right.
you might have opened door 2 and then open steel door 3 or whatever, things like that, because you got to get more and more specific every, at every level. But that's like an interesting like game for like a one shot where you could do pretty much anything, you want. So yeah, that's interesting. But that's like the simplest kind of RPG that I've seen and ran.
I don't remember how it worked, but like I played a session, it was a one shot of kids on bikes, and it was like that. Like it was just this one sheet. You
Yeah.
had like 4 ability things that you I think got like a die to go
I think
with
there's
them.
5 because there's one that's One that's a D4, a D6, a D8,
Yeah.
a D12, and a D20. Yeah, there's 5
Yeah,
stats.
and you just put them kind of where you wanted, and I mean, we
Yeah.
had a great time. Like it was super. My friend that ran it did a really great job. Like it was a surprise. I showed up thinking we were going to play 5e, and I was just going to be like, okay. And then he's like, I want to run this, and I was like, it's not 5e. I'm in, and I'll play it.
Yeah.
And we had a great time.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Like I ran it. It's I like that the dice explode. So somebody that has like a strength of D20 is like really strong, but someone with a strength of D4 can get there, right? Because the die explodes. So like 25% of the rolls, like you can keep adding it. And so you get like some weird interactions where, you'll have somebody that, rolls like a D20 for like a strength check or something against somebody, and you get like a 15, and you're going against somebody with a D4, and they'll roll a 4 like 3 times in a row, and like
Exploding dice
somehow
are awesome.
somehow
they're fun.
overpower the D20 guy. So like the narratively, you like come up with this thing that like, this little kid like charged at the, whatever FBI agent and like shoved him, you know what I mean, and caught him off guard and like, pushed him over or something, so you have
Yeah, it was cool. We had a lot of fun.
things like that. Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's interesting.
is it something you use for like a 5-year campaign? No, probably not.
Yeah, right. That's like an interesting, thing there where like, and that's a book, right? Like Kids on Bikes is like a book. And I mean, I think it works great for one shots.
Yeah.
Or to maybe do like a 2 or 3 session kind of game. But yeah, there's no advancement. You're not like, you're not going to put points into a skill, or you're not really going to improve on stuff and then get better and keep doing different things. You're going to play out like a story, and that's it. Yeah.
And it's like a narrative game where this, what you build, and that's what we did. Just narratively, we built like we spent the first half of the session literally.
You have
took
all the
place
questions.
on this train, and we just the way we did it, I don't know how it works in the game officially, but like our game master was like, listen, the world is basically gone to crap. People live on this train 24/7, and it just travels around the country all around. So what's on the train? And we started going like designing the cars, and we just went around the table and just started like throwing ideas in, and we got all done with that. Had no idea what we were going to do for a game, and then he looked at us and he's like, okay, now tell me how you're going to rob this train. And we ended up, that was our adventure. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
Cool. Yeah. No, some of that stuff is fun. There's definitely like that's something that Jason's not into, right? Like, I don't know if he's still in the listening or whatever. But like he wants to sit down at a table and like know what's going, like, you know what I mean? The GM's going to tell the thing, and this is where we're at. We're like robbing a train is like fine. Like, I don't know if he'd enjoy. Hey, yeah, we want some too.
I don't know what that is, but it looked good. Where's ours?
Chicken pad thai.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
Lightest game I ever ran. Swords and Wizardry Light. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny because it leads into, so this only goes up to level 3. The experience system is you get an experience point by completing an adventure. You complete whatever level you are, you complete that many adventures plus 1 to go to the next level. Now, Swords and Wizardry Light only goes to 3, but Continual Light goes to 7. And I'm actually running this for my niece. She'll be 8 next month. But you can get a lot of really fun play and have a lot of adventures with, knowing that you have to go on 5 adventures to get to level 5, right? That's 5 weeks of play.
I think that's about average too. I think if you're for like an OSR game.
Yeah, you can get a lot out of that. So it's very simple. It's like 20 pages for complete revised. I'm sorry, complete revised. Continual Light. It's like $7 on Amazon. But there's a lot of meat on the bone there, to be perfectly honest. So
yeah, I'm looking at to see if he kept that the same for Blades and Arcana. Because that's sort of like the I don't know. I guess this is like replacing that.
Oh, did I kiss my wife on stream? That's fine. She's worth it. I'm not familiar with Blades and Arcana.
So I mean, this is basically Eric Tenkar's.
Eric's game. Yeah, I haven't like picked that one up yet.
So
give me a minute.
I don't know if it's still available. Like it was in print and then it's supposed to come back, I think, but I'm not sure. I'm not even sure what the experience thing is in here. I know, like, I'm pretty sure it only goes to like level 3, and there's some basic stuff in here, but yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
But yeah,
Jeff thinks it is. I don't know if it's still in print. Maybe that's what he's saying. I don't know. But yeah, no, I mean it's neat, So yeah, I know he's got copies that he gives away, Jeff, but
yeah, it's probably he's probably got a box of them sitting in his garage or something, right?
They are available. You used to be able to get them, and I don't know. I don't know if you still can, but yeah, and it's just a basic boiled down version of D&D, white box or whatever, right? But these are great. I mean, these are fantastic for running, quick games, especially to get people into like some of the OSR games and stuff. Like you definitely want to go with a basic kind of thing like that. If it's not like actual basic or BX, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was abandoned. I don't know. But
yeah, I think.
But yeah, it's definitely it's definitely a good thing to check out. Something like that.
Well, now I got something else to find and buy.
Yeah, and so like I would get I would use something like this to give away, right? But I think I'd rather go with something like White Box, just because this is more of a complete game. Like it has the basic stuff that's in there, and then also has enough to go like higher. Like you said, Continual Flame goes to like level 7. Like that's not bad.
Yeah,
right.
Goes to level 7. Has 4th level spells.
Yeah, and like this only goes to 3, and so I'd be like wary about like, because
I think you need a bit more than 3.
Yeah, right. Like this is great for a one shot and thing. Like I think it's perfect for that. But like if we're gonna give away a game to somebody, like I think we got to give them a more complete thing.
Yeah, I think White Box FMAG is a really good starting point, and there's once you become the turbo rich con of the Northeast, and your Gen Con 2.0, then you can
God,
get them Dragonbane box sets or something.
Yeah, right. Gen Con 2.0. Oh my God.
Of the Northeast.
Can you imagine that 90,000 people descending on Utica for Rogers Con?
Oh my God. I didn't even know where we would have it. Like, it'd be crazy. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I will make my own, maybe I will start working on building my own system again. Well, I mean, it's already been in the process for a while. I mean, so, but
I am curious to see how Deathbringer plays when that comes out.
I like the idea of that. I don't know, like his whole death mechanic stuff is kind of cool. Like there's a limit, like you can't just die multiple times. The first time you die, you like shake it off when you get revived. And then the second time you come back and you like roll randomly, I think, and you like lose a limb or an eye or something like that. And then the third time you're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I like the idea of doing some of that stuff. I don't know. I think I like the idea more of having it a little more complicated than that, where you keep track of like negative hit points, or like you roll on a chart and like based on like where you are, in the negative. And then if you're revived, like that's like a wound that you take, so like but if you get to like if you get to 20, right? Like, so if you're like 5 hit points below and you roll a 15 or better on a d20, like then you're dead. You know, or if it's below that, then
Yeah.
you know, you take, like if you're at like 19 or 18 total or so, you know, then it's, you know, maybe you lose a limb or something like that.
Have you played Dolmenwood?
I haven't. I
Yeah.
used some of the stuff from it in my game ages ago, before I got the physical printing and stuff.
Gotcha.
Before we switched to Castles and Crusades, I used a little bit of it.
Because Dolmenwood has a hovering at death's door mechanic.
Yeah.
That I think is actually really good. When I want to pull it up to make sure I cite it right, because there's so many freaking systems bouncing around in my head. Let me. I know it's in here somewhere. Maybe not. Straight up for death. But basically, it's when you get knocked below 0 HP. If you get brought back up, you lose a point of one of your attributes permanently.
Right.
And so that limits how many times you can be brought back below 0, right? Because I think it's randomly. So you roll d6, and that's the one that loses by 1. And if any of your where's that optional rule? Like, I love the layout of this book, but sometimes I hate the layout of this book.
Yeah, I like the idea of damage. Like I would maybe do con damage or something, you know.
Yeah, like I would probably just make it con rather than.
Yeah, and then eventually you can't be brought back.
Yeah.
Once you're at 0 con, or there's a percentage, you know, or whatever. I mean, I don't want to overcomplicate it either, but.
Yeah,
I do that in my games. When you die, if you die and are brought back, you lose a point of con permanently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the old AD&D 1E rule, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean,
and then they added which affects you, because like in CNC, it's, you know, it can affect your hit points. I've had that happen to several characters, like they've lost hit points because the con bonus went down. But like in old AD&D, they also had like the, you know, was it system shock and stuff like that. Like there's a chance that you might not come back, because, and that, as your con goes down, so does that
gets
chance
harder and harder. Yeah.
Being successful. Yeah. So and that's not super complicated. So it's like, I don't mind it.
Yeah. No, I
haven't implemented the like system shock or anything, but like.
Oh, I mean, it's worth being said that, you know, trauma survival exists in Hyperborea. So.
Yeah.
Which is good.
You know, I didn't think that I'd like the stuff like in Shadow Dark, where you're just, you know, if you're at 1 and you get hit for 10 points or whatever, like you go to 0.
Yeah.
And then like the next round, somebody makes a DC 15 intelligence check, and then boom, you know, you're stabilized, and then somebody gives you a healing potion or somebody heals you, and you're back up and you're 100% in the fight again.
Right. That annoys me, the yo-yo effect.
But after playing it, like, I don't know, I think it's fine. I think it's a good balance between like just dying and you're dead, you know, and being too, you know, easy, like in 5e, you know what I mean, where it's just too easy to recover or not die. So I don't mind that so much.
5e, there's like 0 repercussions for it, as you know.
Right.
Played.
Yeah. So, so I think losing like a point of con, I think, is a good thing, because then that's a set number of times you can come back. You know, every time you hit 0, you can only, you know, come back. You know,
one time I did 5e death saves where the target was 20 minus your character level. So at level 1, your death save difficulty was 19. Because you're a schlub, you shouldn't be able to come back.
Yeah. Shellback, I've seen people do that, where the 5e, where the GM rolls the thing and the death saves in secret, and that makes it so that you don't know how long, you know, the player actually has and all of that. So,
We didn't
You know,
we
that's
didn't do that specifically in 5e. I started as a player, I started not revealing my death save rolls. So then everybody else kind of followed suit after I started doing that. And it added a little bit of tension. And then when we played Shadow Dark, the game master rolled and
yeah,
didn't tell anybody.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's
What the
how I ran
timer
it
is.
too when I ran it. Yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm okay with gamifying it. You know, like I'm okay with some of that stuff. You know, so like I'm saying I'm okay with people knowing, okay, we've got 3 rounds and like let's adjust our tactics to try and do that. I know a lot of people are against that and like, no, the person should just die or whatever. Like, I mean, I get it. Like that's the OSR thing is like, you know, you're dead at 0 or whatever. But I mean, we're gamifying the rest of the game. I mean, you know, so I'm okay with gamifying that.
The problem I have with gamifying it is it becomes metagaming because gamifying
Sure.
that in particular affects player decision making.
Sure. But I mean, isn't that happening anyway? Like don't players go through the thing of, well, these guys have an AC of 15, right? And I've got, you know,
That's fair.
I've got a +3 to hit, you've got a +9 to hit. So how
I'll go
about
for the
I'll
goblin,
stay
you go
back
for the
here and
knight.
do this, and yeah, and you go for this
Yeah,
guy.
that's
Like, I mean, that
true.
happens
That's true.
anyway. So, like, I don't know. I get it. I get it, Dan. Like, I'm completely like I don't like metagaming for the most part, but like, I mean, you know, I think the sacrifice is we are playing a game here, so the whole thing's going to gamified anyway. So, you know, like at what point do you really like draw the line? So I mean, and I get that I am more open about that
Yeah,
stuff
I mean, it's not
and
wrong.
okay with it than most people are, you know. So I know I'm not wrong. I just don't know if you're right, but you know.
I'm definitely right.
But
I tell my wife all the time I'm always right. One day I will be.
Yeah. But that's yeah. So, but that's I mean that's kind of where I'm at with, you know, with that situation where like I mean because I used to be like that back in the day. I used to be like, no, you don't know, and I'm, you know,
Mhm.
and you know, and I kept everything secret all the time, AC and hit points, and I mean, I had a player who whoever usually played the cleric in 3.5, they were the ones that tracked everybody's hit points, all the players' hit points, and they were the only ones that knew like where everybody was at. I mean, you could do the math in your head and figure like it's not that hard, you know. But I don't know, it was more interesting that way, you know. So
yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, that's my opinion, you know. So so I don't mind it.
I mean, I started doing the death saves thing in secret just because it is written like starting with 5e. It doesn't like it's pretty man.
Yeah.
Doesn't add a lot of tension to the game. But when you don't
Agreed.
know, because then they're like, I have no idea. And we had that happen. Like we had characters die because we're like, oh shit, we lost track of the rounds, and then we go over to save him at the end of the fight, and he's dead. Like you're like, oh shit, we
Yeah.
lost. I only thought it was like 2 rounds, and it was 5. You know.
Right.
But it just added a little bit more tension to the game, whereas I don't think death saves as written in 5e add any tension to the game. It actually gets gamified when they know because they're like, oh well, I know that he made that
Sure.
save,
Yep.
so he's gonna make at least 3 or 4 more before he's actually gonna die.
Right.
Horrible. And then
Unless your
with
DM's a
Shadow
bastard
Dark,
and goes up and hits him.
yeah,
That's what I do.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
And I've done that. And then in Shadow Dark, when I did that, you just had the DM roll it in secret, and everybody was like, "Oh, okay, probably ought to get on that." And that happened, and that was the contributing factor to some of our deaths. Is that I think the players were used to the way it worked in 5e, and then when we did it in Shadow Dark, I mean, one of the character that lost the most, one of his characters, like he was getting a negative to the roll on how many rounds he had because his con sucked so bad because he just rolled as the rules said and down the line, and his con was awful. So like he had like 1 round probably max that he was going to make it, but they didn't go over to him. They were like, I was like, oh, sorry, I'm not saying it, but I'm thinking somebody probably had to go help him, and nobody did, and he died.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think for all the knock it takes in the OSR, like the way Daggerheart does death saves or their death mechanic. I like it better than 5e because it kind of gives you three different options. Like you can just roll the dice and hope for the best, which is a lot of fun, or you can choose to basically go out in a blaze of glory. You get to do something cool before your character dies. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I don't remember how the other one worked. There's another one. There's three different ways it works. And I thought it was better than 5e. I mean, I'm not a fan of the game, but I think it's overly crunchy for a game that's supposed to be a narrative-based game. But
Yeah,
I did like
Sure.
how they did the death saves. And I got to see him in action a few times.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you see that a lot where people want to try and build a system or whatever that's narrative, and then they start adding in a ton of rules, and I don't know.
And people like I'm not to get too far, but like people fuss about the cards in that game. All the cards do is make it so you don't have to thumb through the book to look
Yeah,
at your,
I mean that's
whatever
a
your
nice
ability
ad. That's a nice ad.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I
didn't mind the cards. At first I was like, oh, these cards, what? And then playing it, I'm like, oh, I'm really glad I don't have to thumb through the book to look up all these
Yeah.
abilities. I can just have them laid out in front of me and be like, I'm doing this or I'm doing that. It
yeah,
made
and
it
that's
easier to
definitely
play,
something I
honestly.
thought about doing, like with my stuff, is doing
Yeah.
cards and then have it so that.
Well, then look at
stuff.
like George and Dave from Emperor's Choice. They put
Yeah.
their whole
Yeah,
game
right.
on a deck of cards.
Same thing, yeah.
It's freaking cool.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
it's
and,
super
and
cool.
growing up, we would write all our spells on index cards just because it was
Yeah.
easier than
Yeah.
flipping through the book.
Yeah, it's all
Right.
it is. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people. I mean, again, I'm not a fan, but like a lot of people like a bitch like about Critical Role just because they're Critical Role. Like the cards are not a big deal.
Yeah.
They're a benefit to that game, in my opinion. And I think they would work like if you did something
Yeah.
like that, Roger, when you made your own system, like that would be fine. Like, oh, I get to pull this card out. Like, I mean, everybody's been up the Troll Lords guys for years for them to make spell cards. So just so you don't,
Yeah.
I
Well,
like spell cards.
They do have the
Much easier.
Adventures backpack equipment cards and equipment decks and everything.
Yep, I have that.
What the font
And we
is
use
for
them.
ants?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's written for 20-year-olds with good
Yeah,
vision, not
Exactly.
old
They need to be on like tarot size cards, and use like a Shadow Dark
Exactly.
font. But
Yeah.
I like cards, and there's plenty of
Panglossius.
reasons. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, no. Go ahead. Finish your. We'll
I was just gonna say there's plenty of reasons to critique Daggerheart. The cards are not one of them. Was all I was gonna say.
Right. Sure.
I agree.
Sure. No, I agree. 100%. 100%. I also enjoy that they're giving love to the D12. I mean that's one thing I
Yeah.
give to Talanian
Yeah.
for Hyperborea too. He's the D12 for some of that stuff.
Yep.
Like the thief skills
Yeah,
and things like that.
Hyperborea
And,
uses Hyperborea
Yeah.
uses it a lot.
yeah, I like that more people are using the D12 for stuff.
My
I love
beautiful dodecahedron.
Panglossius, does metagaming get a bad rap because it makes it too video gamey? So I can make an argument it's just being smart with real structure. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think that's why metagaming gets a bad rap because people feel like they're playing a video game at it. But
Depends on who you're
I mean, I
playing
don't think
with,
it's
too.
necessarily a bad thing.
Because like the classic adventure game Discord, the CAG guys, they very much promote player knowledge, right? And players being good at the game.
Yeah.
And running a game for players that are good at the game. So if you were ever in a CAG game and you said you were fighting a troll and you were like, well, my character wouldn't know that you use fire on
Right.
the troll, they would laugh at you and kick you off the Discord. Right. Because that's
Right.
not the type of game. So like if that's the game you're going to play, I don't think it's bad.
Yeah.
But it's just,
yeah, absolutely. No, I get it.
And there's different variants of it. Like we had a situation in one of my sessions where an NPC died and the party was deciding what to do. Like, were they going to try to get this guy resurrected or anything like that? And I had a player ask me, he's like, well, did you intend for this character to die? And I didn't even get to answer the question. My son was like, he is never going to tell you that, like one way or the other. Like, why would you ask that question? And I'm like, I'm just like, no, you guys do whatever you want. Like, I'm not going to tell you if I meant for that to happen or not.
Yeah.
But I think there's good, and I mean, it has to be done right. If you're doing a lot of, I don't tend to like it that much, so I try not to do it. But I think we all do it to some extent. But,
Sure.
mm,
Sure.
I try to do as little as possible.
Yeah, no, and I get it. Like, I mean, there's definitely going to be people that are going to try and use the meta, and it's so hard, I think, to separate the metagaming completely from the game, because we are playing with rules like and things to emulate other things. So like those rules like come into play, like whether you want it or not. Like, I mean, I try to avoid it, you know what I mean, like especially in a convention game or whatever. But like in a convention game, if I'm gonna go kick a door open, like if it puts the entire party in danger, like who cares?
It's a convention game.
Look, because it's a convention game, like bad shit's gonna happen, whatever. But like in a home game, like you have to have that sort of meta knowledge of like, you know what I mean? Like if I know something bad's gonna happen and I'm gonna add to it, like you don't want to do that.
I don't know.
Because
I play home games when I'm a player, like it's a convention game. I'm
like,
fuck it, let's kick that door down. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, yeah, no, I get it, right? But like at some point, like if you're actually gonna put the players in danger, like I don't know, like it depends on the play group, but like some of the play groups might not want to lose their character because you went and did a series of ran through 3 doors, you know what I mean?
I actually got kicked out of a game earlier this year.
So
fantastic. Door. Yeah. It was a YouTuber's game. It was on Sundays. And we had 3 very long, very uninvolved sessions of like this 5e combat that would not end.
Yeah.
And this thing we were fighting for 3 sessions, was basically completely immune to everything I did. We finally got through it, got to the dungeon, whatever. First door we go through one door, okay, fine, whatever. We go down the hallway to the right. There's a secret door. These guys are screwing around with it for 20 minutes. I was frustrated. I hadn't done anything for 3 weekends, and I was like, I kicked the door down. It releases poison gas.
Nice.
Gary Gygax's Necropolis, by the way. So it was save or die.
Nice.
Rolled a 1. Used inspiration. Rolled a 4. Had some sort of reroll. I forget what it was. Rolled a 3. And I'm like, well, I'm dead. And the other players thought I was trying to TPK them, that I knew there was going to be poison gas there, and they kicked me out.
Nice. Fun times.
Yeah, it was good times.
Yeah. So Agile says his team is making the new CNC spell cards. So that'll be interesting to see that stuff come out. That'll be cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to I definitely want to look into cards. Like I really like the idea of cards as items and things like that. Just to be able to hand that stuff to the player. Like I like how Dragonbane kind of handles it with the decks and like the random treasure stuff, weapon stuff. Yeah, you just say, hey, here it is.
There's a bunch of those on drive-through. People have made like additional treasure cards and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think those are neat. Neat, like giving everybody
really
a chance
cool
to draw from it or whatever. Because Dragonbane typically isn't, at least in my experience, hasn't been like a high treasure game. I actually kind of like that about it. So it's not driven by treasure, so you don't run into that problem like in traditional like D&D style games where you're 9th level and you're like the fighter's running around with, I have a shitload of gold that I have nothing to do with. It's not like the wizard that has to invest in his craft and stuff.
Right.
So, I like that Dragonbane keeps it low. It's nice because you get to keep playing like you were talking earlier, Roger, like for Fire and the Gray Mouse. So yeah, we went out, we hit this place and did all this cool stuff, came back with this loot, and now we're broke. And
woke up in the gutter, don't know what happened.
What happened to us? But it also has more meat on it where you can do a lot of other things. It's not just a dungeon crawler.
Dragonbane is amazing.
Yeah. And maybe I don't know, maybe I will put my game together and
for the record, I liked that 30 minutes ago you're like, no, why would I? Because I would just be pulling what I liked in the other games. Now 30 minutes later, not only have you convinced yourself to do it, you're starting to think about merch.
Yeah, I know.
I want a
I know,
T-shirt.
right?
Tall sizes,
Well,
please.
Yeah, right. T-shirts. Oh my god. Well, no, I mean, I think like, some of that stuff would be cool, right? Like the cards and stuff, like just from a player standpoint, like.
Oh, that's cool,
So you-
Chthonic. I didn't know they. Sorry. Chthonic had a cool comment. He uses third-party cards for Dragon
Yeah.
Maid for conditions. I didn't know those existed.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I knew they made item cards and stuff. Yeah, Free League uses cards for weapons. Twilight 2000, I like treasure cards and improv weapons. Yeah, the improvised weapons. I think that's really cool that they put those in the
we've
box.
never used those, but I think they're really cool too.
Yeah.
Like you could be like,
Yeah,
hey, I want to pick. You're in a bar fight or whatever, and you're like, I don't have my weapons with me.
like here's your thing.
Well,
Yeah, and you just give them a random card. This is the
Then
first
it's
thing
like,
you grab.
Draw a card, and this is what you get. I think that's
Yeah.
great.
I agree.
That's
Yeah.
That game is awesome. That game is. They nailed it with that game.
Yeah. So maybe cards. Yeah, maybe down the road. I don't know. T-shirts apparently. I don't know. I got to figure that out.
Yeah,
Then
I
the
gotta figure
cards.
that out,
Yeah. Hat pins,
Yeah, hat pins.
hat
They're
pins
good.
probably. Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I think I'd want to have something like I love the idea of like a box set with like the 3 little books and everything.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But I think this is
Yeah. Oh yeah.
this is where I want to be, and then like at first, and then after this is there, then go
Do
through.
you have? Do either of you have this?
I sure do.
The starter set?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
So I grabbed this weekend. This thing is awesome.
There's a lot of
Like,
great
it's
stuff
just-
in there.
It's filled with stuff. I mean, and then the quality of it, like the art on this is like raised embossed art.
Yeah.
Open the box. It's got like on both sides, it's got charts and stuff you need to run the game. No, I can't get my fingers to work. But
Yeah, the charts in the box, like on the underside of the lid and on the bottom. Yeah, they're great.
it's like that's freaking awesome.
Pirate
And I
Borg
love the
is the best Borg.
Yes.
100% agree. I haven't even played the others, and I've technically never played Pirate Borg. I've played Dragonbane in the Pirate Borg setting. And
Yeah.
it was freaking awesome. Like
That's
we had a
cool.
blast. That was my
Yeah, I
very
mean, you should
first
definitely try
Dragonbane
it, Stan,
campaign
because I'm
played in.
interested on your thoughts with the Borg system.
Shellback.
Yeah,
does
I'll
make
have
box
to-
sets.
What?
Heathen.
Sacrilege.
Burn the
Start building
non-believer.
Ignited
Yeah.
dice engine. I want to Tide, the Ignited dice engine. I want to publish book, put in front of my players, share with others. Yeah, I like bookcases, but I don't like box sets. I don't know. I'm working on my room, the bedroom over there. That's going to be my office basically, and I'm going to have different shelves and stuff in there, and I'm gonna 3D print some stands for like some of the box sets and stuff that'll be behind me. I think that'll be cool. I really like box sets.
I need to
So-
redo all my shelves because I've
So-
come to the conclusion I need a special shelf for all my A5 stuff because I
Yeah.
don't like how it looks.
Oh,
next
sure.
to
And you
the
got
big
all that
books.
space. Yeah. So
I just
yeah. So
bought
Shellback is wrong
shelves
about box
today.
sets.
Because my place is a disaster. So I got like miniatures everywhere, and so I bought shelves. So I'm trying to put up more shelves where we game, so I can put. I got a bookshelf behind me that's not full of books, but it's full of miniatures. I want to get all those out of there, and then pick up all these loose books and get them up on the shelves. My miniatures down where we actually play games for the most part. I mean, I still have a shitload of miniatures here.
Yeah.
It's just becoming storage is becoming an issue. I still have the terrain that I got at CNY sitting on the table that I'm at right now. It's all painted, but
Nice.
I don't have a place to put it. So
Um,
it's still sitting here.
Yeah, Matt says everything from the last Pirate Borg Kickstarter is really impressive. That's true. Pirate Borg is the best Borg. I said that.
Yeah.
And box sets are harder to get books out of.
No, I think he's being silly.
What? Wait, Dan, demonstrate how difficult it is to get a book out of a box set.
Here, I'll even start over. Step 1. Remove lid. Oh.
It's important.
Step
Yep.
2. Select
Good first
book.
step.
Extract book. I'll even go with the third book down.
Wow, that was so
Now-
difficult.
Yeah.
That being said,
So
smart assery
difficult.
aside, if you had said slip cases, I would agree with you. Slip cases are annoying
Yeah.
on the shelf.
Well, Outcast Silver Raiders, that one's easy to get the books out of.
Yeah, this was a bad one.
Because
like some of them are really tight.
The Dolmenwood one's beautiful. Pain in the ass to get the books out.
Sure
But
is.
It's a beautiful product.
Yes.
I mean, it is gorgeous.
Yeah.
But it's hard because because it's so nice, I don't want to like do any damage to it. So it's
Also,
like
yes.
super. Yeah, that one's fussy to get out, but it looks great.
Yeah.
I love box sets, so
I'm considering selling my Dolmenwood stuff. So I don't know. We'll
I should have
see.
freaked everybody out and used this as my example.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. But we all know that that's not real. So
Yeah. Well, not everybody in the audience knows that it's not real.
oh, sorry, spoilers.
Spoilers. It's a reprint. But yeah, I have no problem getting books out.
that's awesome. Chthonic had a cool post. Yeah, I love the Dolmen with the Pirate Borg setting, so I'm either gonna steal the crap out of it for my own setting or I'm gonna run it separate. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
It is a cool setting, and it kind of I used to play a ton of Savage Worlds. It very much when I first was reading about it, it reminded me of 50 Fathoms from Savage Worlds a lot, which was like a flooded world kind of in like a Caribbean, less undeady, less Cthulhu-y, but a lot of fun.
Yeah. And the books need to be a proper size, but
Yeah.
Whatever.
Agreed.
What size is that considered?
I think they're
A4.
Yeah.
A4.
A4. Ridiculous.
Damn Europeans.
Ridiculous.
They come
Bites the
over here
paces are tight.
for the World Cup and have wrong size books. Drive on the wrong side of the road.
Ugh. It's terrible. It's awful.
Awful.
So yeah. So does size really matter, guys?
Yes, absolutely. That's why I'm building special shelves for my A5 books because they annoy me.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
I agree, Shellback.
Yes.
You are not
100%.
Is B5, is that
Love
the Forbidden Lands?
It's very close. Forbidden Lands is technically G5, which is the Swedish version of B5. It's very, very close.
It's
within an inch, but every
Jason
inch
Vay's
matters.
books. Jason Vay's books.
That's another.
Well,
right?
They're close.
That's another
They're
great
close.
box set. Is the Forbidden Lands box set?
Forbidden Lands box set. The books are nice and everything. Yeah,
beautiful.
That's another system that I want to run.
It's
I'd like
30
to play
bucks
that
right now
too
for the summer sale.
Yeah.
And you get 2 great books in it.
Yeah.
Yep, and a bunch of
OSC is A5.
Yeah, OSC is A5.
What do I have?
Yeah, it's not
B5.
B5.
I got too many books.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's some good stuff. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really got anything else on sizes or
No. I think a lot of it depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to do a one shot, you don't need a lot. But if you're trying to run long, like I'm going on year 5 of my CNC campaign, and I steal from all sorts of sources. I don't stick to one, but you need a little bit, right? Like I think. I mean, I wouldn't try to do the same thing with Shadow Dark. I like Shadow Dark.
Yeah.
I haven't, but I wouldn't try to run a 5-year campaign.
Yeah, right. So that's like my thing. Like I want to have something simple, but something that also I can use long term.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking
hard.
Yeah,
right. I think you can still get like relatively simple games. They don't like I'm not switching to like Pathfinder 1E to run my long campaign. I like Pathfinder 1E, but my brain doesn't go that way with the math and stuff these days. But I steal stuff from it, but I would never run it. I would play it as a player because I only have to worry about one thing, my character. As a game master, I've been there, done that. And I don't want to do that heavy lifting.
Yeah, there's definitely some things that I would want to try and put into a game that would make it more difficult. So I got to try and find a way to make it less so, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see where it
an
goes.
easy thing. I mean, I designed like a character class for CNC, and I was like, I don't know how people design entire games. Like I have no desire to do that. My brain doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
I'll have
mind
to.
designing adventures and stuff, but like
Yeah.
a game system, no. I'll just either find something that I like to play because there's more power to people that want to do it. I mean, we need people to do that stuff. But for me personally, I would rather just. There's got to be something out there that will work for what I want to do. You know? Or
I'll
I
have to
can
put together
budget.
something that I'll have to put together something and show it to you guys. And
Yeah.
I don't know if it would last long term, but
only way I'll know is if you try.
But well, just because the mechanics are going to be somewhat simplified. There's some things I think will be more. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it'd be more of a simplified thing. So, so I don't know.
Well,
my personal, stuff, but the classes are going to be hard for me because I don't think we need that many classes, but I know that there's people
just
that
draw off
think
your
we need
2.
them, so
yeah. Sword guy, book guy, done.
No, I mean, I think I would try and make my classes fit the theme that I'm gonna go for.
Now, would you make a world alongside it?
Yeah. Well, no. So yes and no. Like I think I would leave it simple. I would basically explain the idea of the world and what I see.
Like a gazetteer.
Yeah, but not like populate full things and and say, hey, do what you want with this stuff.
Right.
Run
so
the stuff
like you would have an entry that says something along the lines of, I don't know, just as an example that's coming to my mind right now. The Leng Plateau is a vast hostile desert plateau, is deemed uninhabitable.
Oh, that was right off the top of your head. So, I know.
Spitballing.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't go that far. Like I would describe the world as like basically not based on like locations and stuff, but based on like the history. Like here, this is what I see that happened here, and this is sort of the world that we live in. Here's like the classes and stuff that kind of fit that, and then that would be that. Like, and then people can build like I don't know if I would put a map in or what, like maybe I would do that later, but like I would just want people to like, here's a random generator for generating hexes and random populations in certain areas, and like you can use this for any kind of thing.
Right. Well, it's interesting, kind of going back to what Stan just said about he designed a class and was like, holy cow, that was a lot of work. I don't know if I could design a system. I think I could design a system because my brain kind of like works that way, and I like taking like building blocks and subsystems and kind of playing with them. But like the thing that just boggles my mind is when you get guys like Gavin making Dolmenwood or Rob Alderman making Gods of the Forbidden North, and it's just like 1,500 pages of super deep lore and world building and adventure sites like that. I don't know how a human does that. That's
I'm more like inclined that way than, not that I'm on the same level with any of those guys, but like having run, I've been using my own setting for a while, and I do enjoy that. Like, and part of the enjoyment is like, oh, we're going to go over here. I'm like, well, what is over there? So like you figure that out and then start writing it out and trying to make it make sense. And I do enjoy that. There's just the mechanical end of it. I'm like,
use Agile Monk's World. There are very cool maps in Agile Monk's World.
There are, and I wouldn't use Agile Monk's World in my thing. I mean, for a couple of reasons, but I mean, one, because it's not mine, and two, because it's the idea that I have in my head and like that is not.
Can I make a request?
It's not gonna fit. Yeah, I mean, you can make a request. I don't know if
when you make your game, call it Neighborhood, so the box set can say GM Rogers Neighborhood.
No, it already has a name.
Oh, is it something awesome?
Yes.
What is it?
I'm not saying it on stream. I'll tell you when you're older.
All right.
I'll tell you offline. I think I've already told it to you.
You might have.
Possibly.
If I ever make one, I'm going to call it BT CB, and you can figure out that acronym yourself.
Okay.
I'll give you a hint.
So.
The CB is this part right here.
So
I'm kidding. Sort of ish.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. But like maybe that's what I should do. And I just my whole issue is like I'm not good at like layout and editing and stuff. No. Agile. Hang on. Look, it's not that I know you're kidding, right? But like it's not that your world wouldn't fit because my brain works in this weird way that it does. Like it just I can't use like a standard fantasy world, like because of things that I know already about the world. So, yeah. So there has to be more than just fantasy stuff in there. There is going to be a bit of sci-fi things and that in there. So, yeah. And yeah, to Matt's point, like there's a ton of stuff out there to make, generative tools. And like, a lot of those have wonderful tables and stuff. I really kind of like the Shadow Dark kind of thing where it's just super simplified and it's like, here's the hexes and here's just roll these and you can, generate stuff. But yeah, as far as like getting like cities and different locations and things and hexes and all that stuff, like, yeah, any one of those has a ton of stuff to do that. So yeah, it's interesting. So, but yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll start putting stuff together. I would really need someone to do like layout and editing. Well, not so much layout yet, right? But like editing, and not just like editing like corrections, but like positioning of like where stuff goes. Because I feel that my writing is like similar to like Gary Gygax, where I'm just all over the place. And there's stuff that like
stream of consciousness.
Somebody needs to go through and just like actually, put things in like the proper order and what goes in what chapters and like to figure all that stuff out. Yeah, because I would just do a brain dump. So that's kind of where I'm at, with that. So, but yeah, so maybe that's my goal. Maybe that's what I'll work on little by little. You guys can ask me about it every week. I'll, do something like this.
Sweet.
Start putting something together, and and we'll go from there. So, but yeah, that's what I got. What else you guys got? Anything? It's fantastic.
Thanks for having me.
You guys are wonderful. Thanks for. Oh, absolutely.
I got a bunch of books that I grabbed and dropped all around me so I could hold it up for the camera. That was fun.
Yeah,
I got a pile that I got to try to put away.
Yeah, I do that too.
So.
I do that too. So no, I think it's pretty good topic. Roger is a professional editor and ghostwriter support person. Yeah, I do.
And a layout.
That's what I need. Yeah, but layout can come later.
True.
Like I need to write all this stuff down.
Chubby writes his stuff in the layout, which is wild to me.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Like I get it. I get why he does that.
Yeah.
And I would want to do that, but I just can't because I'll go back and edit things and change things so much that it'll screw with the layout.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but that's why his stuff is amazing.
It is pretty freaking amazing.
But yeah, so I mean, I think that's what I got to do is just open up Notepad++ and just start writing.
All right, I'm going to make a suggestion. At least use Obsidian. So the poor bastard that has to sort your train of thought can at least break it up into little subnotes and have a little directory structure to it.
So, no, I mean, you don't think I should just use something like a Google Doc or something?
I mean, if you want to make Horde Wars. Todd used Google Docs.
Is that what he used for that?
Yeah, he used Google Docs.
No, I mean, just for, the whole thing, like just for, like, it doesn't matter what I use because once I get all that stuff out and it's going to go into editing,
yeah,
like all that can just get, Control A, Control C, and then dumped into
it.
Anything.
I wouldn't use Notepad plus plus. At
I
least
have-
go up one.
I do have Notion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of Google
Never
Docs.
use Google Docs.
I know
Never.
some people that swear by it.
Why not?
I'm not a huge fan. I'm curious why Agile is not a fan.
Why not Google Docs?
I don't like it because I had a former employer that made us use it many years ago when it was brand new, and it was like traumatizing to have to deal with it.
I mean, I've got a bunch of stuff on Google, and so like it helps to like have stuff in one uniform place.
Yeah, I do
you
too.
know, and so I can like work on all that stuff. So I mean, I get that's why like Notion and all that, but I mean, I have a lot of stuff on Google Docs. So I'm curious as to why you don't like that. Yeah, right. Okay, but how about a reason, Agile? How about a why? And what do you mean? So Roger, if you supported the Kickstarter,
right?
What do you mean if? One, you know that I'm a lunatic. Two, you literally can look up what I pledged on the Kickstarter. I was at the $145 whatever level that is.
Oh,
that's where I was at, the 145 one.
I was at Tropic Thunder.
So there's no if. No if. I can come on the show sometime and tell you why you should not, from any insider government reasons that I'm aware of. Yeah, but okay.
I'm sure it has to do with like data farming and access and
if it's got anything to do with that, I'll give you one guess as to how many fucks I give. No, look. Yeah, right. Dan's right. Dan is correct. But no, I get it. I get it, right? But like I don't get like I'm not it's not my personal diary. It's not my personal diary and now you're just messing with me. All right.
Well,
so you know what I mean? It's not like my personal diary. It's not like I'm putting, explaining all of the crimes that I've committed that no one knows about, like in list form, like I'm literally going to write an RPG. Like, I mean, it's like if the government and like the Google Home and like the AI want to use that, like, then I don't look, whatever.
I look forward to like asking Codex a question and it comes back and it's like, well, according to my search of my secret government database in which I accessed Game Master Roger's Neighborhood prototype RPG.
Yeah. I use Kate. I don't know if that's,
Is Kate cute?
Yeah. I'm wondering when you say you use Kate.
What exactly do you mean?
All right.
You should go with Obsidian. Obsidian's great. There's an option to pay for.
My author buddies all use Google Docs. Makes collaboration with editors super easy.
Yeah.
It's a Linux app.
I'm
okay with that.
I like Linux.
I'm okay with that. Well, I guess that goes into like, Dan, are you going to be one of my editors?
Sure, I'll edit your book. I like reading.
So no, I mean, I need to find like people to like put, stuff, like I said, in order and, keep my stream of go from stream of thought into, a book.
Well, after being staff at CNY, I feel like I speak fluent Roger now, so that should help.
Yeah, I think I'm on several lists, Agile anyway. So for a couple different reasons. I mean, one was a lot of book purchases back in the day, and the other is
Were they cookbooks?
Yes. Yes, they were, amongst other things. What was I forget was it CRB Research or something? Was that the place that was selling all that stuff? Anyway, so yeah, and that and I had a thing with customs for a while, and I was screaming at those guys, so I'm sure that my face is up there somewhere. Kate is packed with features that will make it easier for you to view all of your text files. Kate will also let you edit and view many files at the same time. Okay.
Oh, God.
Fantastic.
I'm going to hell.
What? What'd I say?
Nothing.
TBR. See, he knows.
Kate
He
is
knows.
packed was funny to me. I had a
PBRs.
girlfriend in college named Kate.
Kate is packed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The ride plugins, cleaning embedded terminal. That lets you launch console commands. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Yeah, CBR. Yeah, I don't know whatever happened to them, but I spent a lot of money there on books and things. Still have some of them. Yeah. So I'm on a list, and I had a subscription to 2600 back in the day, which I still pick up one every now and again, but from the bookstore. But anyway, that's that. Yeah, console. Yeah, console's got a nice shell. Okay, we'll do a Linux episode.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe, I don't know. We'll put that up there.
That'll be fun. I'll find out I'm using all the wrong stuff. And I'm
so
not cool.
yeah, right. So I guess that's that. We're over the 3-hour mark. I'm out of here. I don't know. I'm done with you guys.
Sounds good.
You guys, so
you need a better sign off like Matt has for the second watch, where he's like, "Our watch has ended," and then he plays.
Our watch has ended. Yeah, but that's like way too professional. Like that. That's why he's got more subs than I do. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I get it, right? Like, I get it. I get that I'm on some lists. I don't care. I don't care that I'm on these lists. You know, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, on a list." Like, I don't care. People complain that their Google Homes listen to them. Like, I don't care. You know, the only thing that bugged me about the Google Homes was when the turkey showed up in the middle of stream, but whatever. Agile, we'd love to get you on again. We'll talk about it sometime. We could talk about government conspiracies that aren't conspiracies if you want. But I'm out of here. We'll talk to you guys. Thanks everybody for watching. If you would, please subscribe if you're not, and tell your friends to subscribe. Tell your friends, parents, loved ones, all that stuff to subscribe. If not, because you don't do it because you want them to listen to me. You just tell them to sub and then uncheck the bell. I just want to beat Jeff in subs. That's my goal. I just want to get ahead of Jeff. That's my only thing. So if you guys could do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I appreciate it.
We want to get ahead of Jeff.
We want to get ahead of Jeff.
I got a lot longer to go.
And like, share, subscribe to Dan as well. And Stan, I don't know, you got 3 times the subs as I do. So you're doing fine on your, no, if you're not subscribed to Stan's channel, subscribe to Stan's channel. He's got some great miniature stuff.
Stan has really cool session recaps.
Some painting and stuff. Yeah. And he's got session recaps, and that stuff is absolutely fantastic. Way better than my session recaps would be, because my session recaps would be me showing my horrible doodles on a whiteboard.
Well,
so
I feel like session recaps too would also kind of go against your whole stream of consciousness, like
exactly
style,
So, but more on that maybe next time. We'll see. So please like, share, subscribe. We will see you guys on the next one. Don't forget, tomorrow night doing the stuff with Todd, Jason, and Matt, and more stuff coming from Dan and I, and more of my solo content. If you want to see me, do it alone, then you can get more of that. So I gotta get out of here before I get demonetized.
That's your sign off. If you want to see me do it alone.
It's fantastic. Well, I thought it made perfect sense. All right, I'm out. Take care, everybody.
I love you, Roger. Bye, everybody.
Take care, everybody. Bye.